Hello, everybody. Welcome to Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
Tiffany.
This is a comic book review show where we take the comic books that came out last week, we recap them, we review them, we tell you what we thought about them, and then after it's all done, we give you recommendations for comics that are coming out this week we think that you should check out. Welcome back to the show, Tiffany.
Thanks. I mean, I'm here each week.
I know, and it's a miracle every time. By the way, this show is also sponsored by you out there, actually. If you want to help us keep the show going and keep the infrastructure of ComicPop and ComicPop Returns alive, you can always use Super Chats, ask a question or comment. We'll read it here on the program, like this fine person right here, which is Brian Rollins, who says, thanks for all the great shows and recommendations. Picked up a nice house on the lake
Yay!
after last weekend's show. I agree. It's well worth the read.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you that it is well worth a read. Thanks to you. You read it, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was like, how is it? Come on. Because I know that like sometimes there's a lot of hype.
There's hype. And that was much hyped, but
and you were like, it's excellent.
it's great. I love
Who'd
it.
have thought?
Let's do it.
I should also mention that, of course, as it's not a new custom, as is we've only done it one time, but we have a special surprise guest coming.
Surprise guest.
Surprise virtual guest coming in to plug a project that they've been working on for a while that is coming out on Tuesday. That's why I brought it in. I was like, hey, you know what? It's coming out tomorrow. You got some time? He was kind enough to offer it.
You want to do it?
You want to do this? You want to debase yourself and come on our crappy little show?
Hoo-ha.
That's right. And I think this will be the first time that you and this individual have interacted outside of a Comic-Con setting.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I know you're right.
Yes. You interacted with them at one Comic-Con, I think. And that's it, right? Baltimore?
I honestly don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think I did.
You hooked me up with a copy of one of their books that I liked very much.
Did I?
You found a copy.
Oh, I did, but I don't think I interacted.
No interaction.
I don't think I had interaction.
Well, you know, you did talk about one of their works
I did. Well, you'll see.
on the show,
You'll
but
see.
we'll get into it.
My hair is a disaster today, so I'm sorry I keep touching it, everybody.
Yeah, you
I'm
do.
just
Yeah,
so,
just stop worrying about it. It's not a big deal.
Anyway.
Yeah, that would have helped, I'm sure. So
Let's do it.
Let's talk about some books. So let's jump into it. I guess I'll talk really quick because I got a lot of heat, you might say.
You got some
a little bit of flack,
little fire,
little bit from folk regarding my opinions about Amazing Spider-Man. I've been reading this series on and off. And when it's off, I usually catch up.
I'm like,
and check it back up.
You've read every issue of this run, so you can't
of Amazing
say on and off
Spider-Man.
you're a liar.
So yeah, I read Amazing Spider-Man number 68 from Nick Spencer and Ed Brisson and I don't remember their name, Ferreira.
Why is it blurred?
Oh, because the Chameleon Conspiracy, I think it's going to change and it's going to become some other kind of conspiracy. I think that's the idea. Last issue felt like 12 issues in one, but not in a good way. By the way, I love these Bagley covers because they're so different from what Bagley had been used to doing.
Okay.
It's like so evocative of like the current Bagley style of Spider-Man, and yet completely different from what he would have ever done.
Mm-hmm.
We get some context for the resurrection of Ned Leeds, an old Spider-Man villain / supporting character. Not really villain, thought villain. Doesn't matter. They thought he was Hobgoblin. And they give a pretty decent retcon about him. Nick Spencer reminds you of a character he created and a plot device that they invented, while also reintroducing the Lizard, who is working in that situation. This issue was a lot of fun, and like it was entertaining to read.
Okay.
And that's the funny thing is that's what this book is. This book is just constantly like it's great, it's not, it's great, it's not, it's fun, it's boring, or it's utilitarian. And that's the kind of like arguments that I've been having with people, such that I have, is that this book is just, it's so all over the place, and it has such an odd tone, and it feels like it's just been like ever since the beginning, like of his run, when he's like, Mary Jane, Spider-Man, make out. End of story. They're back together. It's like, it feels like it's been cleaning house. Like he did an entire event about Kraven the Hunter just to kill him, and then like remind you that Kraven's Last Hunt is the best Kraven the Hunter story, and that there will never be a better one. But people keep whinging about doing Kraven stories. Okay. So fine, here's a Kraven. He acts and looks just like the other Kraven, but my Kraven, the one who died, who should be dead, he's in the ground. End of story. And it's like, okay. And he also wants to remind you about DeMatteis's run because he loves, like the Harry Osborn arc, which I do too. And like, but I don't know if I were given the keys to the Spider-Man car, I'd be driving down those same old country roads. I feel like I'd be trying to do something different. But then again, dude did Secret Empire and got majorly hosed at the end. So maybe he's playing it safe, and he's just like, if I just tweak things to get Spider-Man back to where he was circa like 1993.
Yeah.
I think I'll feel good if Marvel inevitably pulls the rug out from under me. And it's like, if that's the case, if he's just gun shy, I get it. I really do. And I don't blame him.
Okay.
So it's a fun book. And, or at least it has its moments. Let's put it that way. So
it's like Han Solo.
it does. Not many of them, but it does have them. Cairo Arena, which is a great name, says, thanks for everything you guys recommend. Do you think you might do any back issues of Alpha Flight? Either way, we love your stuff, or love your stuff. Can't you on the replay? Well, thank you, Cairo. There's no current plans for Alpha Flight. And the reason for that is just because Alpha Flight is not a very well-known property. But if Alpha Flight gets a movie or a show, you bet your bottom dollar I will do the Alpha Flight story I've always wanted to do. That's the thing, is that I only do the books I always wanted to do. Like, I would never do a Loki story unless it was Rob Rohde's book.
Shouldn't you bet your bottom toonie?
Yeah, you bet your bottom loony.
Loony, whatever it is.
You bet your bottom loony that I will do it. I don't know. Are they? Yeah, I think they're still doing
know.
toonies and loonies.
I'm sure they use dollars. Some sort of.
No. It's toonies and loonies and.
I'm just saying. I was watching Kim's Convenience and they use the word dollar when they're talking about the paper money.
Interesting. Yeah, because they're Canadian.
I'm not Canadian.
No, but I've been to Canada a lot. I've been to Canada a lot.
Canada is just over the border, right before you hit Canada.
That's right. Yeah,
it's like America.
It's more like a state of mind,
and then like a thin strip of Canada right into Canada.
Yeah, it's just made of flannel, back bacon. And,
it's just made of all the things we assume about Canada.
That's right. There you go.
That's where it is.
And let's jump into another book.
Okay.
Save us some precious moments here.
Save my mockery of you.
That's right. Yeah, let's save me a lot of mockery. I read Joker.
I did too.
Yay! So... I noticed you did because I saw the bar was done.
Oh, you hadn't read it at that point?
No, but I read it like a half hour ago.
Yeah.
Joker number 4 from Jamestown and the Fourth with Guillaume March on pencils.
You never got to tell us how you felt about the reveal in the last issue when it's like, hey, Jim Gordon's going to hang out with the Joker. Here he is. I thought we were spending this whole thing looking for the Joker.
Yeah. Nope.
Solving a crime.
Nope.
How'd you feel about that?
It's fine.
How you feel about it now?
It's great.
See, I don't know.
Like, yeah, I don't know if I like this new direction where it's like, we've done it. They've interacted. They've done their thing. And now we're doing this.
I have like two thoughts, two different like parts of my brain, or like one part of my brain is just having a good time watching Jim Gordon do Jim Gordon stuff.
Which you're still gonna get.
The other part of my mind is like, Jim is told a lot of things that Jim doesn't know about, and I'm like, I feel like Jim should have been able to figure some of these things out. And then I'm also like, maybe I'm just reading into it too much, but there is this sense in the book where it's like, Joker's like, oh man, like, remember when I like sent you through
remember Killing Joke?
Remember Killing Joke and I sent you through all of that? Yeah, I remember. And I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. Well, that was nothing compared to what I'm going to do. And I'm like, are you trying to say you're going to do a better Killing Joke? I
mean, the next chapter is called Year One. So I think they're trying to like put a hat on it and remind you like, nothing's ever going to compare. But like, if we hold these stories up on a pedestal, we will never dare ourselves to reach higher.
No, and I get that. I guess and again, this is probably just a personal preference.
Yeah.
I prefer a story to just come out of nowhere and be like, wow, I'm awesome.
Right. As opposed to being like, get ready for this. Well, Joker War was definitely one of those things where it's like, get ready for this. And it sucks. And I think that it's funny because, Joker War was, I don't know if it was a dud. I think it was. I mean, I certainly felt like it was a dud, but I think overall people are like, is it one of my favorite is it one of my favorite Joker stories of all time? Absolutely not. Like, I don't think anyone is like, Joker War is my favorite Joker story.
Yeah.
And I think that was definitely referenced because there's a lot of like self-referential stuff in this entire run.
Yeah.
And when Joker refers to his little Joker War, I think that was like, in one hand, yeah, Joker always has bigger plans. On another, how could you call it little? It was the biggest thing ever. But I think also it was like a meta way of Tynan being like, so it wasn't as big and awesome as we thought.
Sure. I mean, I think it was probably just a turn of phrase that he chose to put in there.
Fair.
I don't know. I had expectations of this book that I probably shouldn't have had because it is a book called Joker, and
right.
I think we have been talking about the fact that it felt like it was a backdoor.
It's really
Gordon
a Jim Gordon
and
book.
It still is, but
Joker's getting more play.
I sort of thought it was going to be a lot more Gordon, like solving crimes, doing his thing, which apparently is just what I want to read.
Yeah, globe hopping Gordon.
Yeah, so
Gordon
I think I just need to readjust my expectations of this book and re-examine it, but the Killing Joke thing kind of like, I don't know. Like,
pulled you out of
I'm
it.
not saying that like I'm like no story could ever be greater than this. No Batman Joker story could ever.
Yeah.
What I am saying is maybe don't call attention to the fact that you're trying to possibly do something greater.
Yeah.
That's really what I'm saying. I was like, that was weird.
Yeah,
that was my read on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the Talon Vengeance, which is the new female Bane?
I don't really have a problem with her. I mean, like,
I'm fine with it.
Just kind of feels like she's just filling in for right now.
She's waiting. Yeah, she's Bane will be back.
Yeah. I mean, her name fits what she's doing.
Yes. I remember there were being a discussion about her name and they weren't sure what to call her. And then someone said, oh, just call her Vengeance. And they were like,
well, now Batman can say I am Vengeance.
No, because she is. She's like, no, actually.
Excuse me. No.
Yeah, no. I think Joker calls her She-Bane.
Yeah.
Which is funny because it's like, yeah, have Joker do it. That way, when people do it in forums and on Reddit, it's like you're a jerk.
We also get to see like this is like an interesting blend of Joker as well, because it's a Joker who's directly referencing the Killing Joke and like how he tried to break him, like build him up, break him down, talking philosophily about Batman, about how he and like how Gordon's like more of a realist or pragmatist than Batman is.
Yes.
But he's also like the sadistic, over the top Joker who's like slicing that guy's face up.
Yeah.
Just to slice that guy's face up. So like it's just I don't have a read, and like maybe that's what I'm not supposed to have is a read on this Joker.
Yeah, that's fair.
But again, like when you reference certain things, it puts me in a mindset. So then like it's one thing to be like, oh, so, I want it to be, you don't know what's coming from this character. And it's another thing to reference something and then be like, but I don't want to do that 100%. So maybe I shouldn't have dropped those references. And instead just told my own story. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know you're going to tell a Gordon Joker story and like, you're going to say that that's canon, then that has to come up. Yes. I think you do. It's just the way in which you do it. Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm still enjoying this more than I had been enjoying Tynan's Batman run. That's fair. I think so far I've enjoyed the first two more than the second two. Yeah. But we'll see where it goes. Yeah, this is fine. I was disappointed also that it didn't go further. That it didn't take its time with this premise. Dean8149 says, love the show. Had a good laugh when I saw there were so many Bat Family books or books featuring a Bat character last week, and Batman didn't even come out. DC knows who pays their bills. They sure do. Yeah. Yeah, it's Bruce friggin' Wayne. It's the Wayne Foundation. Oh, for sure. Kevin Kruger says, Tiffany, Swamp Thing, Robot Man, Etrigan. You have to date one of them. Who is it? And Sal, Storm, She-Hulk, Invisible Woman. Who is it? She-Hulk easily. Tiffany? Really? I would have gone Storm. I know. I'd still date Storm. Right? Boom. If she'd have me. Never. I think I'm going Robot Man. Yeah. Because the most human. Yeah, right? Aw. Raj Patel says, at the end of X-Men 21, what two Omega mutants do you think were teased? Want to talk about X-Men 21? Do you want to talk about Let's talk about X-Men 21. Let's talk about X-Men 21. All right, you offered. I know. No, I'm saying X-Men 21. Let's do it. All right. X-Men 21. I don't have it open, so you start. Okay. All right. Well, X-Men 21. I don't have it open at all. No. I don't. Where the hell is it? I just opened Spider-Man by accident. Well, X-Men 21, of course, is written by Jonathan Hickman. The art is not by the cover artist anymore. No. There it is. It's right there. Oh, there you go. Thank you. I've seen it. Yeah. It's by... Oh, well. We're a disaster. Doesn't matter. No, it does, because I don't know how I felt about the art, but I liked it. I didn't have any problem with it. I'm not the biggest. Oh, yeah. It was by two different people, I think. No, that's right. It's by multiple people. Yes. And I didn't like the first part. Yes. That's it. Hi, we're catching up here. I read a lot of books. Yeah, there you go. Nick Dracota. Yeah. Russell Dowderman. Lucas something. Who I liked a lot. Lucas Wernick and Sarah Wilson. Sarah Pacelli. Frank Martin, Matthew Wilson, Sonny Go, and Nolan Woodard. Yeah. Seriously? It took this long? It took this many friggin' people for one issue of X-Men to come out? Good heavens. They did different sections of it. But it didn't tonally really fit, but whatever. Well, I would say that's because we just had issue 20 come out. And so like I think there was just a rapid turnaround on this one. Right. And I feel like each artist takes on a different part of the evening. That's true. And so like I was okay with the shift in art. Yeah. Yeah. So there's still like it's funny because Namor came up, I think, during Hawks and Pox,
where they were like, "Hey,
we went to Namor and they're
Island,
like,
what do you say?" And he's like, "Get fucked." And
come back when you're serious.
Yep, and they tried again.
They invite him to the party.
It's almost like Magneto and Xavier like greenlit Emma's party just so Namor would come, so they could ask him one more time. But they asked him basically. They have 2 missing seats in the Quiet Council. Namor, you want in? And he's like, "Fuck off! I run half the world. I run 70% of the world. Why would I?
You have an island."
Yeah, and then he like kind of physically indicates whose side he's on by going over to the non-mutant Marvel universe, the X-Men, Black Panther, the Avengers, and he's like, "What up?"
By the way, he has the deepest V of pants.
He has a deep V into his gutters.
Yeah, right down in there.
Yeah, well, naturally.
And it looks like in that image, at least a few of the heroes are looking like Cap.
Looking directly there.
Is on like, dude.
Yeah, dude, have a little bit of modesty. And he's like, "I'm Namor. Why would I do that?
Have you seen me?
Yeah. Have you heard of Namor?" Yeah. And then it's like, I've never seen you be a monarch at all. I've seen you attack the surface world. I've seen you like destroy planets. I've seen you be an asshole, but I haven't seen you like run anything.
Well, yeah. And he indicates that he's just like, "Oh man, like, no, if I joined your little Quiet Council, everybody would leave because like I'm an actual king." And in the face of like true.
Yeah. True leadership. Sure. Whatever. You're your own best hype man. But then we get into the Hellfire Gala around like 10, 15 that night.
We do the official election for the X-Men.
Because
technically it hasn't been decided yet.
No, but we all knew who was going to be on it. But they basically explain how they're going to do it. And it's just this big like mental voting process.
Yeah, Doctor Strange explains it. And he's like, "It's kind of cool."
Yeah, I'm peeping in on it.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it to Johnny. But yeah, we see the new X-Men, which is Polaris, Sunfire, Cyclops, Wolverine, Laura, Rogue, Jean Grey, and Sync.
Yes.
And
which is interesting because they put Wolverine and Sync on the same.
Well, they want you to.
Yeah.
That's going to be the drama of that. But that's a lot of fun. There's your team. We knew that was the team.
We did know that was the team, but it's like, it's official. We get all of the...
We get the Sinister rumor mill, which Tiffany loves.
I do love the Sinister rumor
I read them.
mill.
They didn't seem very exciting to me. None of them were like, "Oh my God, what?" I was kind of like, okay, whatever.
But for me, if you're reading Hellions, everything you thought might happen, it was hinted at happening. Yeah. The idea that like Psylocke is going to have enough inevitably.
Yes, naturally.
Inevitably, she's just going to be done. We bring up Apocalypse.
Yep.
Which I was like, cool,
good, reminding you that's happening.
It's not reminding you, but it's like letting you know too that Hickman hasn't forgotten.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no way he could, but he's just like, hey, it's cool. We bring up the Vescora. Remember those aliens from Sword? Well, they weren't from Sword, but they were
used through Sword. Yes.
Yeah, during Ten of Swords. They got shipped to one of the to Blightspoke, where they're mining Blightspoke, and something from their Mad Jim Jaspers is grabbing.
Yes,
along with some other folk.
Little reminder about Mad Jim Jaspers. I'm not done with him.
Yeah. So like that's there as well, and I was like, oh, that's interesting for sure. I mean, like that's probably going to be maybe an Excalibur thing. I'm wondering if some of these are setting up some future plots.
I think that's probably what it makes sense.
Books. Yeah. And then for me, of course, also talking about Hellions as well, kind of, talking about the Vile Helix, which was what Sinister had run into.
Yes.
When he went over
his counterpart. His counterpart.
Yeah. So like, there's a lot in here if you're reading some of the other books. We won't go into all of them because we don't have enough time here because we've got a lot of books and some shows and a guest to have on. But there's some stuff to unpack if you've been reading a lot of the books and pour over if you so choose.
That's true. So we see, like, it's basically just an excuse to draw a bunch of cameos. Great. Patton Oswalt and his wife, George R.R. Martin.
George R.R. Martin talking to Kitty with Lockheed there.
It's like, oh, dragons. I'll never finish that book, by the way. This is where anyone, like Emma, just dives into his mind, grabs the last book.
Oh, my gosh.
Sends it to a couple of the scribes and is like, go for it.
Yeah.
Write it up. And then... Krakoa publishes the last George R.R. Martin book.
Oh my gosh, that's their great exports. Yeah, the drugs.
Yeah, forget the drugs. No,
everybody
we're in
just
publishing.
Wants to know how Game of Thrones ends.
That's right.
I want to bring up too. There's one about Cypher, and that one to me had a little weight.
Yeah,
because it's Cypher,
right? Naturally,
dealing with Krakoa. Because they talk about like I know, like, are you listening? I know that you are. Like, as though maybe he's. There's some sort of secret. So like maybe Krakoa's telling him things. I don't know.
Right.
But I'm like, interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We see the party.
They also talk about the islands or the councils. Yes. And they're like, you think it's just 2? It's more.
Oh,
because I was like, okay, because there's Krakoa and Arakko. They both have their own councils.
They had their own very similar looking.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool.
So there's more.
Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
But yeah, so Emma shows up and she's like, "Hey,
looking fabulous.
Another opportunity to look at me naked."
She's not naked. She's got beads.
Whatever. She's doing her thing. She's making friends. Kevin Feige shows up and he's like, "One day I'm going to make an X-Men movie."
Yeah, what's your story?
I like that. People got really mad because it's funny when you see internet reaction to books that they're clearly not reading, because they were like, "Wow, worst Cyclops costume yet. This is so stupid." And I'm like, it's
not his costume.
It's not his costume. That's an outfit he's wearing for this very specific thing.
It's an homage to the Met Gala.
Yeah, and I'm like, of course you don't like it. You have no culture. So anyway,
I was gonna say, of course you don't like it because part of it is supposed to be over the top and ridiculous, and you're not gonna like all of them.
Yeah.
Although I have noticed that every artist who has an opportunity to draw a book having to do with this gala draws Storm because she's fantastic.
Because why not? Because she's constantly blasting lightning.
She looks amazing.
Yeah. I should also point out, by the way, that Cyclops has had some ostentatious outfits in the past, and if you actually take a look at what he looked like in the 90s, who wears a cross chest linked with belt pouch? The head sock. Give me a break. Anyway, but so
but it's not. It's just their Met Gala outfits.
But they're having a blast.
And look at that butt. I mean,
they announced the fireworks. This is where we actually see what the fireworks are going to be, and it's it's mental fireworks because of course it is.
Well, it's not just that they open they let the whole world listen in.
Yes.
They get to listen to everybody.
Yeah.
She does this crazy thing where she's definitely naked.
Oh yeah. Well, because she has to use her powers.
Yeah.
So she has to turn off her diamond form. So she's totally naked. But we allude to the sun, Mars. I don't know, but it's this moment where everyone is linked, and we're seeing these fireworks, and she points up, and we see these two characters silhouetted against this red orb in the sky, and that's it. That's your indication of things to come. The next chapter. What are you thinking? What the hell am I even looking at?
I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't know. It could be. It could be. It could mean everything. It could mean nothing. I mean, it's obviously setting up the end of the Hellfire Gala. I think these are either uninvited guests or they are perpetrators of what people are complaining about before.
Right.
About the post midnight fireworks situation. Maybe they are the fireworks. Maybe she did this and then she's like, but actually here's my show of force, and two Omega, two crazy ass mutants show up and they're like, by the way, we run everything and you're nothing. I don't know. I doubt it.
Right.
It could be anything. I'd love to hear some theories because I have no idea. What's yours?
I have no theory. I have no theory.
Well, I'm excited to hear what the chat has to say.
I agree with
that. But that's X-Men. No, I can't share the image, so I'm not going to do it. But
unfortunately, not with the new streaming software that makes the streaming a lot easier.
Yes.
It's not as easy as all that. I'm sorry, guys.
That's fair.
No, it is two silhouettes against something.
Yep.
It could be mutants. It could be. It depends. It depends on who's going to be the next big things. I mean, obviously we're going to be dealing with Onslaught at some point.
Yeah. Yay.
There's Apocalypse doing what Apocalypse is doing. Sinister's obviously doing some things. So it could be something that he's been mucking around with since obviously we've seen futures in which he helped to create.
Yep. Chimeras. Yes. It's so funny.
So it could be that the Chimeras are the next age.
Yeah.
It could be the Vault Kids.
Right. So funny how people are like, God, this is nothing like X-Men, and yet we're setting up. Here are the main bad guys we have set up in this new status quo. Onslaught, Apocalypse, Mr. Sinister, Mystique.
Yeah.
All your classic X-Men villains. The only one that I haven't seen yet at all, Juggernaut. Now, he's not a mutant. But where the hell is Juggernaut? I haven't seen him against any of this.
Right? He's I don't care.
He's got to show up.
Probably. It could have something to do directly tied into Inferno.
Yeah, it's probably Inferno. That would make the most sense to me.
Tying something directly into what Hickman plans on doing with Inferno in general. Yeah.
Order 66 Studios asks, did you read Batman Earth 1 future back issues? Yes, it's going to happen. Tiffany and Ben are that host, right? That's you guys?
I believe so.
I think it's you and Ben. We actually have that book. It's right next to you.
There it is.
Yep, I've read it.
Don't say anything.
I won't want to spoil it, but it will be a back issues. But
cool.
yeah, I have read it. I bought it immediately. We bought it from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, 65 Broad Street, right back in New Jersey. We also have Justin Guy with a mustache. Thank you very much, by the way, for all your support, man. You've been incredibly kind to us across the interwebs. He says, did you get my care package? If not, I'm about to write a strongly worded letter to Amazon. Probably. I just went to the post office today. I picked up at least a few packages. I got a tube. I've got a large box. And I have, I think, a smaller box. But they're all from Amazon. Well, 2 of them are from Amazon. The other one's a tube. So probably. But I haven't opened them. I don't open them until we do them on camera.
Right.
We also have King's Portcal Kingsport Cal.
No, Kingsport Cal.
Kingsport Cal.
Kingsport is a place.
Kingsport.
His name's Cal.
There we go. All right, thanks, Cal. Sal and Tiffany are my favorite YouTubers. Sal's incredibly knowledgeable, and Tiffany is his Mary Jane, who is also smart and cool. Ethan and Ben are all right.
I agree, they are all right.
They are all right.
Don't let them get any bigger than that.
No.
In their heads.
In their estimation.
They already know.
Yeah, they already know how great they are.
They know how awesome they are.
Yeah.
They don't need it.
So they can just be all right. But thank you.
No, they are
Cal. New type JB Lee says, love your weekly videos. How do you feel Tynan introducing all these new villains instead of relying on old Rogues Gallery? Do you find it refreshing? No, I find it actually distracting and frustrating. I appreciate that it's not like the umpteenth Two-Face story. I appreciate that we're not like trying to do something with Killer Croc that nobody cares about. But at the same time, I also like, as much as I don't care about like a 6-arc sewer dwelling Killer Croc story, I care 1,000 times less about Miracle Molly or whatever the hell her name is, or about Punchline, despite her backup in like one of the most recent books, and the fact that she has like some measure of depth. Like I just don't care. I'm sorry, I don't care about the designer. I know he was like a throwaway idea, but I just don't care. I don't care about any of these ideas, and I especially don't care about them when they're all like you can practically see them in a line at the door, just waiting to come in.
It could also just be that it might take a little time and a different writer to come along to take them and tell a story that you do care about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Danny Ollie, thank you for helping me find great comic books. Keep up the good work. You too, Danny. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Let's talk about another book.
All right, let's do that. I'm going to give you this back now.
All right, thank you.
Because I don't know what I'm doing beyond that.
No.
But I did do that.
You did.
You saw me do that.
I guess I could talk a little bit about, what would you read?
I read the X books this week.
Oh, okay.
So let's talk about those real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
Since we just talked about the Hellfire Gala, I want to talk about Excalibur, because Excalibur, this event's running very differently.
Yes.
Than I would say
the Hellfire Gala.
The
Ten of Swords.
Because
this is even an event.
This is a Hellfire Gala issue, which takes completely place at the Hellfire Gala until the end, where it doesn't. But it's also intrinsically an Excalibur issue.
Gotcha. Which
last time when we did Ten of Swords, they were Excalibur issues, but it was taking place in a place where Excalibur was, so totally good. But what this serves to do is show that, like, you know, everybody's going to the gala from Excalibur, and Richter's pissed.
Yeah.
He's like, remember the stupid party? Nobody remembers that Apocalypse was awesome and totally
God.
badass, and nobody cares.
Stay back in your apartment and be sad.
Just, nobody cares.
No, nobody cares about you.
And while he's there, Shatterstar shows up.
Oh no! Here's somebody who doesn't care, but nobody cares about.
They used to be a thing.
Yo.
And like, so
I did not know
he
that.
immediately like grabs onto Richter, and Richter's like, dude, no, what?
Right.
What's up with you? Right. So that's something that's gonna be going on, because we deal with that also at the end.
Naturally.
But really what the heart of this is, like, Pete Wisdom is there and like dances with Betsy, and is like, hey Betsy, we're not really just dancing, because she like looks in his head to,
yeah, I have a mission.
Yeah, he does, kind of, because he showed up with the representative, that dude from Covenant Kaba, the magical folk who hate mutants.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Betsy.
they think they're witch breed. Yes.
Yeah, and they don't want Betsy to be Captain Britain and all that. And essentially, while Betsy was away, they ended up becoming like the UN ambassador for Britain.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
So he's. I
thought Betsy was. Yeah.
No. This dude does. Like, while Betsy was away, this dude becomes the UN ambassador.
Gotcha.
And so like he is invited to the gala, and so he's there, and he presents to Xavier and Magneto and Emma that like Great Britain is like done with Krakoa.
Oh.
And they're like, but you have like all these drugs we sent you, and they're like, oh, we've already confiscated those, and you can have them back.
What?
You can just have them back.
Why don't they want them?
We don't want you. We don't need you. We can do our own thing.
Oh, sure.
We don't want mutants.
Oh, okay. So we're doing a Brexit thing. Okay.
So Betsy gets really upset and offended. We hint at the idea that Megan is pregnant.
Oh no! From whom? I mean, I assume Captain Avalon, but like,
yeah, but like,
what if it isn't? He'd feel like a real idiot for not sleeping with Saturnine. Then I would. Like, what?
Well, she denies champagne, which he's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm just hungry. And he's like, okay. And he goes to get her some food, and the Nightcrawler shows up.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, it's good to see you, blah, blah, blah. He's a little drunk. He's drunk throughout this entire event we've seen. And then like he's like, oh, I should be careful with you in your condition. Like, congratulations.
How did he know?
He can just tell.
Oh, okay.
And then like Captain Avalon comes over. He's like, what? Congratulations for what? And she's like, nothing. Go away, Kurt. He's like,
oh,
bamf.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it's very convenient.
That's like, I didn't really put that together. Like, that's a really great side to Nightcrawler's power, is the ability to get out of an uncomfortable conversation.
Yeah.
Just
bamf.
Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I wish.
I'm out. I hate everything, and I'm not going to be here anymore. The Kamanakaba bails on the party.
Right.
So Pete has to go with them because he came with them.
Yeah.
And
well, they're my ride.
Yeah, they're my ride. They brought me here. You could just use the gate.
You could use a gate or a teleporter or whatever.
Thing.
Sure.
So he goes with them, and then it turns out that they use him and kill him in order to like have a ritual that frees Morgan Le Fay.
Oh, okay.
And sends her back through the gate.
What, wasn't she being experimented on by Apocalypse? Where the hell is she?
She's just been in like
in Krakoa somewhere.
No, in Avalon, in the bowels of Avalon, being held by Jamie Madrox. Oh, not Jamie Madrox. Jamie Braddock.
Yes. A lot of Jamies.
Yeah. But because Apocalypse told Jamie to do that. And he's like, I don't care.
Right. Whatever. I'll do it.
If she gets freed, I'm not going to be king anymore.
Yeah. So
I mean, you can just alter reality.
Yeah, but he's not going to do
that. But so she's free. Richter joins the Druids, pushes the lighthouse off of England.
Oh no!
Because they were like, the Coven guys are like, yeah, you can take your lighthouse and go away because that's actually on our land.
So he's like, okay, fine.
Now it's Braddock Island. Get stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. So now it's like, okay, Excalibur is going to be dealing with Morgan Le Fay.
Right.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Makes sense. English villain.
Yep.
Fine.
Down. Like, and she's not happy.
No.
That lady is not happy.
I can imagine. You know what she should call? Dr. Effing Doom. Because they sleep together sometimes through time.
Oh, that's right.
So, like, that'd be amazing.
She should call Tony Stark.
We are kind of setting that up.
No.
Yeah, no. Doom would be like... Doom would be... I would love to see that, because I've seen so many great panels of Doom where he's freaking out behind that mask. It's just a baked-in expression, but you see his eyes like he is losing it.
Yeah.
I was actually rereading Secret Wars from 2015 the other day, and I was just like, he has so many moments like that, where he's just like, he is screaming behind that friggin', that stone face.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Anyway, but yeah, cool, good.
Yeah. I also read Children of the Atom.
I know.
Which is written by Vida Ayala with art by Paco Medina.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to say who wrote the other book, which is obviously going to be Teenie Howard.
Yes.
With art by, I think it's the same person.
Oh, Paco Medina?
No.
The same person who normally does
that has been doing
Excalibur,
because they're great. I really do like them. They really do great. Marcus Toe.
Ah, yes.
So that was Excalibur. But Children of the Atom continues to be the book that I just don't.
It's not the X-Men book. Like, it's not
my fave.
Mm-hmm.
And it continues to feel disjointed.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, I think, the best word for it. It just
maybe it's supposed to, because they're disjointed.
It could be and like that's a really like dope kind of meta read for it.
Right.
That I'm like, maybe that is legitimately
supposed to feel all over the place.
Yeah, because like they're kids and they are all over the place and they don't know what they're doing, right? But like this issue's trying to tie into the Hellfire Gala, but it doesn't feel like it should tie into the Hellfire Gala.
Yeah, because they don't tie in anything.
Right, and it surrounds them yet again trying to get through the gate. And I'm like, we've done this 3 times now.
Yeah. That's too bad.
And this time they're caught.
Oh no!
And are going to be experimented on, but don't worry. Like at the end of it, one of like JJ got away, like Daycrawler, because I refuse to use his other name.
Yes.
Daycrawler gets away and then gets the X-Men to assemble.
Oh.
But I don't know if it's for real. It may not be.
Right, because that's not the X-Men that were elected during the Hellfire Gala.
No.
But that was the X-Men pre-Hellfire Gala.
It says X-Assemble. So we don't know. That's kind of how they
it's like
ended.
Maggot is on the X-Men.
It's just,
Oh, no.
We may, again, it could be completely...
It's probably fake. Yeah, who knows?
Completely fake. But just... they're trying to have like a through line here, but it's almost like the world's happening around them. And so then like that's trying to get into the book as well to make it feel relevant to what's happening. And that's what I feel like I'm struggling with. Like, doesn't make sense the idea that they're like, oh, the Hellfire Gala is happening and they're opening up the gates to everybody. So like everybody can go through.
Yeah.
But like, Obviously, I feel like in the news reports about this, they also mentioned the fact that everybody has a special flower, and that's the only way you can get through. And then they don't even use that.
Right.
They use something else
Yeah.
to try to do it, and then they don't even get a chance to even do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Weird.
I really do struggle with this book because I think there is something to it, but
right.
I feel
and there's
like
a place for it, even if it's
I just feel like it should be not necessarily left alone, but like it should be allowed to do its own thing without having to worry about itself weaving into what's happening right now with the X-Men, unless it can like naturally do so.
Gotcha.
That's where I'm struggling with this book.
Okay. Well, you're not alone. A lot of folk are not picking up this book, or at the very least, they're not. It's not connecting like it.
Right.
Like,
I will see,
but it did come out of nowhere. Like,
no, it did. And there's like this book, this issue in particular, has like a really nice like overtone to it, in which Buddy, one of the characters, is talking about family in general, and like how his folks got divorced, and then his dad like remarried almost immediately and got like a new family because she had kids,
right? And
so like he really attached to those, and so like he would spend weekends with them sometimes when his mom was like doing things,
yeah.
And then inevitably he lives with them, but like he feels like he's easily replaced, and that like inevitably by the end of it he realizes that like, you know, family isn't like the ones you're born with, it's the people you choose,
right? And
I'm like, that's dope, because that is kind of what X-Men is about at its core. So yes. I really like that. I just wish the book was tighter.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think there's a solid message there. It's just getting lost.
Yeah. Let's do a couple of more super chats.
Yeah, let's do that. I got it. I'm doing it right now.
Michael Darnell says, "Did you see Bo Burnham's Inside? It's a new special on Netflix." Yes, it is haunting, and it gave me existential dread for the last week. It really bugged me. Bo Burnham haunts me.
I saw the cover.
Yep. I don't know what it is about that kid, but he really like gets in there.
He lives in there. Don't let him live rent free. Charge him.
Khalil Frederick says, "Was going over Hawks and Pox. Can't believe the Inferno seed planted back then. Well, seeds, plants, you know. Not to mention other things like the Fourth Summers brother reveal. Can't wait for more." I'm so glad to hear that, because yeah, man, Hawks and Pox sets up a lot of things. I mean, you can see the friggin' the Apocalypse children from Ten of Swords. They're in that book. Like, Hickman has been playing the long game.
I assume that he has some sort of like, he's gone beyond the, you know, bulletin boards with string on it. Yeah. He's got like the Tony Stark.
Yeah, he's got like 3D mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like Loki, Minority Report, like examining things.
Yeah. Here it is again.
Oh, sorry. I'm bad at this. You could have stopped me. You could have stopped me at any point.
Eternal Blockbuster. I assumed it was Zorn twins preparing Mars for the arrival of Omega level mutants in Planet Size. Okay, well, spoiling Planet Size, which comes out next week. But I don't know. I have no idea. I'm glad you assumed that, though. Kevin Kruger,
no spoilers,
says, "Did you ever read Apocalypse versus Dracula?"
That seems like a short story.
Yeah, it should be. But no, I've never read Apocalypse versus Dracula. Picked up all of Ultimate Spider-Man with a Comixology sale. Never would have revisited it if not for your videos. Miles Morales ongoing. Yay, nay, or may. I will say Miles deserves an ongoing, even if I'm not reading it. But Ultimate Spider-Man is my jam. I should also say that I don't know if it's still available, but Kevin Smith's first 15 issues on Green Arrow are up on Comixology in one collection for $1.99. So if you do like Comixology and you want to save yourself a whole bunch of cash and try out a book that Tiffany and I did on back issues, you may dig it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Russell says, "Hey guys, love your channel. I was wondering if you had any interest in doing Batman Cacophony by Kevin Smith. I've thought about doing it. There's two of them. He did Cacophony and Widening Gyre, both of which were written by Kevin Smith and drawn by Walt Flanagan of Secret Stash fame. I've thought about it. I know I'm not gonna I don't like them. So like it would be me just being like, hey, you know what's really terrible? These Batman comics. So I don't want to necessarily just drag it through the mud, but who knows? I mean, one day. Khalil Frederick, I love Tom Taylor's Nightwing and all the work he's doing. Me too. It's a great series and lovely covers.
I caught up. I did it.
You maybe did.
No, I did it. Well, while you look that up, I also read Strange Academy, which proves to continuously be a fun book.
Yay.
They like killed another student off this week.
Oh no.
But they're back. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, they're not back. Toth is from Weird World. He's made out of crystalline like structure.
Okay.
He's like destroyed after a late night study fest by some like black goop monster.
Oh no.
Which we have seen before, so we all kind of knew who it was. But his parents show up and they're like, there's also a cat there called Cat Beast, and Cat Beast is from Weird World, used to be a sorcerer there. And he's like, I can fix this. We have to, put him back together.
Okay.
Like if we had to put the puzzle back together, then we could use a spell and then we could resurrect him. It's just
kind of like Betsy.
Yeah. Yeah. Magic Man. Magic.
Why isn't that his character in the Marvel Universe named Magic Man?
Magic Man.
And he gives Doctor Strange a run for his money.
But he's also like a flim flam artist.
Yeah. Like he's like kind of like he looks like Mandrake the Magician, and he's just like, no, Steven.
No, he's got to be like, oh, okay. You could do it like mockery. You could go to the other side where he's like, he's like
David Blaine.
New hotness.
Yeah, he's like, I'm upside down and I hold my breath
Strange
for 2 weeks.
Hates him.
It's like, that's your Doctor Strange pitch.
Yeah,
is Doctor Strange versus the Magic Man in 6 issues, and it's just Doctor Strange dealing with the charlatan.
Yeah, and he's dating Clea.
Yeah. Oh no, now it's that guy from Venture Brothers.
Yep. But
he his assistant is either the girl from the Aaron run or the girl from
Velma?
the Wade run.
Or Thelma.
Yeah. He's like, he's stealing my girls. Anyway.
He's like, hey, Wong.
Yeah. Wong.
Or Rintra could be with him.
Yes, he got Rintra.
He got Rintra and what the hell's her name? It's not Amethyst, it's Topaz.
Yes.
It's a different gemstone.
That'd be amazing because
character.
It would be very evocative of the Neverending Story, where it's like using a little bit of. Isn't the Neverending Story? Am I thinking of the right thing? I'm thinking of The Last Unicorn. What's a children-oriented, horrifying property that uses like fantastical elements? It's not puppets, it's animation. Mommy Fortuna's traveling circus. She's like, all of her traveling circus. She's got a manticore and a harpy and stuff, but the harpy's real. Everything else is illusions and fakery.
Right.
The harpy's real, and that's the most dangerous. And it's like this dude. It's like the Jim Dark magic of the Doctor Strange Marvel universe. It's like Rintra is the one piece of magic. It's like I have real magic, and it's this freaking big green minotaur.
Right.
And like that's the most dangerous.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. There's your pitch, Marvel. You can take
Marvel.
that. See you next week. See you next year.
But needless to say, his parents show up.
Oh, yes.
And
they're like, hey, we're here to see our son.
No.
Oh, okay.
They go and retrieve her. They retrieve them. They're like, you need to get over here now. Zelma. Why? I said every other.
You did. Velma, Thelma.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zelma.
Because
it's those first two are real names and that last one is not.
No, it is. It becomes real.
What's it short?
If you believe in it.
Oh.
Zell.
So that's not real then.
Call her Zell.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's cool.
Listen. If the name is Zelda,
yes,
I believe Zelda is an actual name.
It was made real by a video game.
No, I think it's a real name.
I don't know about that.
I think it is.
We'll have to ask Zelda Williams to tell us.
The point is they're gonna put them back together,
right?
So like, everybody jumps in to help out, and then oh no, his heart's missing, his heart crystal.
But like the girl he loves puts it back.
No, they don't. They can't find it.
Oh, okay.
But also like they're pretty sure that it wasn't an accident. What happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like something happened.
No.
Someone like murdered this kid.
Right.
So they got to call in a detective.
Oh no.
So they call in Howard the Duck.
God damn it.
Which was the point where I was like, well, Sal would have stopped reading the book.
Yes.
At this point.
All right, we're out. It's friggin' Duck. Yeah, you have you tweeted that picture yet?
No, I haven't.
You should.
I should.
Because there's like a really intense image of Howard the Duck.
And he said, because he's got to interview all the students, and like Voodoo's like, which ones? He's like, all of them. And I was like, that's not what he's saying. And I changed it and I sent it to Sal.
Yeah, you need to freaking post that.
Okay, I will.
If you follow at the Real Zoobs on Twitter, you'll see it after the broadcast.
Yeah, there you go. But essentially he interviews everybody. Everybody's got an alibi.
Sure. It's like that great scene from Muppets Most Wanted.
Yes. Kind of.
Thank you, Dormammu. No more questions.
Except there's literally no song, and what are you gonna do?
No Sam.
Calvin. What?
No Sam the Eagle.
No Sam.
Mm.
Which you need.
Why
I guess he's like both.
Yeah. Yeah. Howard the Duck. Yeah, that's right.
It turns out it's Calvin, and like his coat, which we had seen before, came to life, and like he has no control over it. And you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? All right, folks. If you read the Aaron run, you knew who this was. It's Mr. Misery.
Oh, that's cool.
So like back in the day when Doctor Strange, because magic has a cost, what he was doing with the magic or with his cost is they were basically like putting it in the basement of the sanctum.
Yes.
And it became a living creature.
Right.
And he keeps it down there and it's out.
Right.
And it's on Calvin.
That's awesome.
So Misery's back. And
That's
I'm like,
cool.
ooh.
Who wrote this?
It's written by Scotty Young, with
Gotcha.
art by
Humberto Ramos.
Ramos.
Still?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just a great team up.
Yeah.
Like you would never expect this, but it's just so well done, and I love every issue that I've read of it. So
that's great.
It's just fun.
I'm so glad because I remember you were very like wary of this when it first. You're like, all right.
Yeah. Well, I was like, it's gonna be cutesy and kidsy and blah 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 whatever, and it turns out it's doing magic better than the actual Doctor Strange book did. So
yeah, well, who'd have thought that? Let's see. I've got plenty of books to talk about.
I've got one more after this.
Okay. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I will talk very briefly about this one book from Chip Zdarsky, which is a creator I've come to love and respect. Justice League Last Ride #2, which of course is written by it's an Elseworld story written by Chip Zdarsky.
How can you tell it's an Elseworlds? Like, how do they?
They don't. They don't make any indication whatsoever.
Oh.
How do you tell? You tell because you follow people on Twitter and they tell you on Twitter. Like it's terrible. It's brilliant marketing. Way to go. Great brand management all around.
Well, to be fair, we've seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
We literally just did a book on back issues.
Yes.
Which
was like, is it Elseworlds or is it not? And then you read the friggin' article and it's like, oh, it's Elseworlds, and it's like, no, it's not. It doesn't have to be.
But it is.
But it is. Some things are the Killing Joke, maybe.
Yeah.
And then they're like, nah.
Yeah.
No, that is. But the art's by Miguel Mendoza or Ben Mendoza. This is just like this is a dud. It was not. It read very fast. It was very much like the whole thing is a flashback. There's a lot of great moments in it. You know what? I shouldn't call it a dud because like it read really fast and none of it and like it just kind of brought us back to speed with the last page reveal of issue 2. So it's like like nothing. So like technically nothing really happened yet. But it's all the things you like about DC events. And that's the thing. Like, so if you are like bereft of classic DC action or the kind of shit you saw in like that last Justice League movie before they rebooted the animated universe, you should read this because you're getting a lot of fun. You're getting Wonder Women fighting the Furies, fighting Granny Goodness, and all the stakes are there. Aquaman's death, Batman and Martian Manhunter versus Darkseid, Superman and the Green Lantern Corps. Like, you're getting a lot of cool stuff. And you're getting like the tension of it being in an Elseworld story, so anything can happen. Plus Lobo, who is just kind of giving everybody a hard time. There's also one of my favorite panels in a long time, which is Wonder Woman holding a sword to Lobo's throat. She has a look on her face. It's just such a it conveys everything.
Yeah, it does.
It's so rare to get those moments, and it is achieved perfectly in this issue. It's fine. I think that this is one of those things where it's like, oh, you could probably just read the trade, but you know what? If you're reading month to month, week to week, like you may just enjoy it.
Right.
So you should. Check it out. What else did you do? You said you did another one.
I did. I also want to mention someone put in the chat, they were like, what? Sal knows Acquisitions Incorporated? And I'm like, the only reason he knows Acquisitions Incorporated is because of me.
That's right.
Because I used to listen to it back in the day.
Yeah.
But
I know Jim Darkmagic because of Penny Arcade.
Yeah,
the comic.
Like
2 1s? That's pretty pimp.
Yeah.
Like
but the Ack Inc. stuff
is yours.
I listened to that through most of the Scott Kurtz stuff.
Yes.
And then after that, I kind of was like, I was done. Like it kind of closed the chapter for me. And
when Kurtz was.
But that was good. I was like, hey, I have like a.
You have a stopping point.
Yeah, I have a stopping point. So
yeah,
I was
you
like,
don't have to read
nice.
the other or watch the other crap.
The last issue, or the last book I read of the stuff that was in my stuff or my collection was Wonder Woman.
Yes. Who, by the way, I saw the writing team from Wonder Woman was on. I think it was Comic Book Club. And man. Like it was just like, man, come on to our show. You guys are great.
That writing team is Michael W. Conrad and Becky Clinton with art by Travis Moore.
Yep.
Book looks great.
This is one of the best runs of Wonder Woman in a long time, right?
I think some people say yes, some people it depends.
No, for you,
what you're looking for. For me, yes, but you know, we're dealing with Norse mythology. This is the end of that. Right now. Like
all right.
This we're going back to Olympus after this.
Okay,
so we'll
that's
see
fine.
How long I hang on.
Yeah.
Post this just finishes up the trying to save Yggdrasil.
Yes.
Yggdrasil. The World Tree to solve the problem with the Valkyries no longer coming to bring the spirits of the dead in Valhalla back so that they can keep battling. It turns out they just wanted a break.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Damn,
it's like
bro.
it's all like exacerbated by the fact that Thor and his army shows up. They have a big fight. He's a total jerk.
naturally
plays up all of the like
the yes
the
myth and legend about him. It's not comic book. It's not Marvel Thor.
No,
they're not pantsing Marvel's Thor.
No.
Or are they?
He's no, because they have a reason why. He's he's a womanizer. He's a misogynist in this. And he's like, I know what I'll do. We'll just like listen. Either Valkyries, you're gonna get back to work and do your job, or like I'm gonna kill you. And Wonder Woman's like, that's not gonna help you, you idiot.
Right? If they're dead, they're not gonna be able to help you.
It's the same problem.
Just be cool. Just give him the break.
So, but it turns out he's using a specific hammer, and it's not Mjolnir. It's a specific hammer that was created by Dr. Psycho. Remember we saw him earlier?
Oh.
So he's been controlling Thor a bit, like bringing out the worst parts of him possible.
Cool.
And so like it plays into that as well. And obviously I think we're like, yes, Psycho is a character.
Yes.
But like I think we're playing on the fact that like he had some popularity or gained some popularity thanks to the Harley Quinn show. So brought him back into people's mind's eye.
Yeah.
And so they threw him in here and it works for this story because like he had plans and whatever.
Yeah.
Inevitably, like she beats him in the mindscape. Deadman carries that part of him back.
Yay.
And he's like, you have to leave.
Right.
And she's like, all right, hang on. I got to finish up what I'm doing out here.
Yeah.
So she basically sits with talks between Thor and the Valkyries. Up until
she like brokers the deal.
Tries to, but they all have like, their own anger issues about that. And then Ratatasker is like, we have to save the World Tree. Wonder Woman realizes it's the blood from the battles that feeds the World Tree and keeps it up and running. So they go back to doing it. She's going to leave. Siegfried comes back.
Oh, yeah, because they're doing the work.
They have one dope night together.
Oh.
And then she leaves before he gets up.
Oh.
She's like, it's better like this.
Yeah.
He goes after her.
Oh.
She's like, I can come with you. She's like, no, you can't.
You can't. Nah.
No. So he gives
How
her
about no?
He gives her his sword. She's like, I'll carry you with me. And Ratatasker's going with her. Because he's like, I owe you this. So the two of them are going into off on the next adventure to Olympus.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
It's dope.
That sounds like a good, not just. It's a good break, so you can get to the next thing. But it sounds like this team knows what they're doing. So the next arc will be just as fun and awesome. I'm definitely
going to keep reading this, but like this is going to be a solid volume when this comes out.
Oh yeah,
I think this is going to be something that people can easily. Tell friends like, oh yeah, go pick this up.
Right.
Even if you don't 100% understand how she got there, you're going to have a good time. You're going to have a good time.
There you go. Wonder Woman, you're going to have a good time. That goes on the dust jacket. So right now I'm going to put on my headphones. Tiffany, you can do the same.
I totally can this time instead of rolling away and having a snack.
Yeah, just disappearing.
Although I'm missing out on my snack now.
You are. Yeah, you don't get to just leave and have a snack.
I don't get to go have gushers.
Yeah. Yeah, no gushers for you.
Damn it.
But let's welcome our special guest. Welcome everybody to the show. Mr. Tom King. Tom, welcome to the show, man.
What a pleasure. Thank you for having me. It's great to be here. I cannot believe how freaking beardy I am today. I apologize.
I don't recognize myself. Another show, and you were totally clean shaven. You grow this beard, you're like a mountain man.
I haven't been this way since I was like on the Afghan border. This is too much.
This is too much.
I'm getting it. I'm gonna go back to normal time. And if I took off my hat, my hair, not that I have much hair, but the one that was there would puff out like Krusty the Clown. It's not a good scene anywhere in this general. Anyways,
it's great that you waited until
on camera. I can play about my looks the first time.
Exactly. It's great that you waited until like we were 61% vaccinated before you went to you adopted the COVID look.
Yes, now I'm utterly. I think when we were in COVID, like I'm fortunate to have no hair and a wonderful wife, so my darling wife could shave my head. But now that there's no COVID, it's kind of like I have to get an appointment. Not there's no COVID, but so it's like we're in some sort of middle ground where I'm too lazy to go out, and yet I'm too lazy to beg my wife to do it. So it's like I'm stuck in some liminal space.
This is fair.
And now I look like I'm back in the war.
I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it looks good. It's a good beard.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was going for.
But yeah, so Tom, thank you for popping in. I wanted to.
I'm here to talk beards. We're all talking
about beards. Yeah,
that's why I'm here.
That's right. Yeah, you're here because you shave you cut my hair, but not my beard.
I wouldn't dare to touch your beard.
Well, only because you'd be afraid of shaving it off, and then
that's 100% what would happen.
Like a donut.
I would just get nervous.
That's true. Bam. Oh no, it's gone.
It's fine.
What a mistake. There's nothing you can do about it, by the way.
No, it's cool. You just put it back in.
Yeah. No, that's gross. But yeah, so tomorrow, Supergirl #1 comes out.
Oh God.
I know.
I'd rather talk about Wonder Woman. Let's go back to that.
Yeah, right. It's been great. But
I was thinking Wonder Woman all day, so I was listening. I was like, oh, this is great.
But yeah, man, Supergirl #1 of 8 comes out tomorrow with your words, Bilquis Evely's pictures. So exciting to see. If it goes on sale tomorrow, what's your elevator pitch to get people who haven't pre-ordered it already, who they should have if they've seen Elseworlds Exchange? What is going to get them to buy this book?
How do you get someone to buy a Supergirl book? I don't know. Supergirl hasn't sold in 30 years. I feel like if someone knew that, they would have told you already. I mean, the best. Well, look, if you read me and you've read that book that's behind your corner, which is Up in the Sky, which is just my take on Superman, and it's one of my best-selling works. It was weird because it was a Walmart book, but it's just the point of that book was Superman is awesome. It was just me being like, I'm not deconstructing him. I'm not taking it apart. I'm writing a book about where you can read one volume of something and be like, this is a definitive Superman story that tells you why Superman is awesome.
Right.
And that's what Supergirl is. It's in that Up in the Sky. If that's the kind of stuff you dug, that's what you'll like.
That's sold for me just in general, because I remember when the Walmart initiative took place. I love how we call it Walmart. Like, I don't think anyone internally called it that. Like, when it was just announced, it came out, and there's no Walmart on that cover or the Batman Universe equivalent.
No, I think it's been forgotten, the fact that it was Walmart at this point. Like, nobody refers to it.
Forgivably, too. People are just kind of like, look at this amazing book. You're welcome. You can get it at this Walmart thing. But yeah, no. It's just so amazing that, like, out of that initiative came these two seminal works. People are like, these are dope. Supergirl, I can't wait for the series. We've been hyping it up for a while, just because of the strength of Superman, and of course your pitch of it being basically like a True Grit in space, which is kind of dope and very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, when I turned in the script, don't tell Mitch Gerrits this, but when I turned in the script, my editor said, this is the best script you've written in 2 years or something, and for the first one. So I'm not saying that's true, but that's what they told me at the time.
Yes.
So that's why I'm super proud of this first script. It's me returning. I'm going back to captions, so it's more of a thick read. This is going to be, so yeah, it's something that'll take at least 2 trips to the bathroom to read this one. So you're gonna enjoy it over time.
That's great. That is, yeah. That's how I think a lot of people read their comics. If Invincible's any indication, but yeah. So, especially if you're reading digitally.
Well, it's right there in your pocket.
It's right there in your pocket. What else are you gonna do?
It's right in your pocket. What are you gonna do?
And you got to take that out of your pocket or risk losing it.
That's right.
So it's already there.
Forget it. Come on.
You're pretty most of the way there.
No, I don't read comics while I'm peeing. You run the risk of dropping the phone in the toilet.
We ladies don't have that problem.
That's right. No. Yeah, you're constant. Yeah, you have all the opportunity.
This is exactly what I thought this conversation would go.
I knew.
We're definitely going to get into it.
What you've come to expect.
Yes. So the other question I think I have really quick, just to talk about Supergirl, hype it up because it is con sale tomorrow, is continuity or no continuity?
It is in continuity. This is my first in continuity book since I left Batman. So it's been 2 years, I think, basically, since I've written in the. I mean, Batcat is in continuity, but it's kind of one of those books that lives.
It's in that continuity. It's in your Batman continuity.
Well, it's like once it's all finished, it'll have its impact, but where it's not finished for a while. It's not like a book that has to. And Supergirl is in. And it's not that it has a lot of crossovers and all that stuff, but the goal of this book is to launch this. This book will have effects on Supergirl going forward for the rest of her career, and therefore will have effects in the DC universe for the rest of its time. So yes, it's very much an in continuity. Like this is the Supergirl that lives in the Infinite Frontier.
Dope. That was a great log line. You know, Williamson was like, "Thank you for saying that, for using Infinite Frontier." That's awesome.
He pays me. I get a lot of money from Josh.
Can we? Yeah, sure. Can you tease your favorite image from this issue? Just highlight Bilquis's art.
I can't speak highly of Bilquis's art or Matias Lopez on colors.
Colors, yeah.
My favorite. This is one. So this is. I don't let my children read my comics because I'm afraid they'll judge them. No, because they're too adult for some reason. But I let them read Up in the Sky. This is the first comic, the first floppy of mine I've ever let my kids read.
Oh.
And they all, and even my 6-year-old liked it. and my daughter loved it. My son loved it. So, but yeah, the image that sticks out. I mean, Bilquis killed it in this issue. I mean, there are beautiful splashes. She creates a whole world that's sort of this new Conan world nobody's ever been to before. So she's creating a new world. But I mean, there's one image of Supergirl. She's hungover for the first time in her life. I know this is stupid, but it's just like one little panel, and Bilquis just with this sort of thin line she sometimes goes to, draws this kind of, it's the day after her 21st birthday. We've all had the day after our 21st birthday, and so it's her having that sort of universal American moment, and it captures it just perfectly, like the look in her face. Where I'm just like,
gotcha.
Yep, it's a very human moment. I know it's shocking in my books to say that, but of Supergirl on the day after her 21st birthday being, because she's such a god. So just to see her like that and dealing with it, it's cool.
Yeah, really humanizes her. I think that's a great opportunity to connect with the audience in a big way, because that character is so odd and has been all over the place. So it's a good avenue to directly connect that character with the reader.
Yeah, she's a tough character to break into, because she's one of those characters like I don't know what's another character that's like this, where it's like people who don't do comics at all have one image of her, and people who do comics have another image of her. And when you try to merge those two audiences, it's like they're fighting with each other, and it's very hard to merge them. And then there's a separate audience that doesn't do either comics or movies and TV, and also have an image of her, because she's kind of one of those eternal characters that lives forever. So it's those three things that are fighting each other when you're writing. So they were trying to merge all three things into sort of one cogent whole.
Gotcha. Tiffany, you want to take it away? Because I've been kind of dominating the conversation. You have any other questions?
No, I mean, you answered the fact that there are going to be splash pages in there, because I love Bilquis's work. When she was on The Dreaming, I was in it all the way with her. All the way. Anything she draws, I will put my eyes on. Listen, we have the writer on right now, obviously. So I'm way into the story. I'm definitely not buying it. Just,
no,
because of the art.
Buy it for the art. This is one of those books. I work with the best artists in comics. Like I say,
you do.
But this one especially is the art is absolutely mind-blowing, and she's leading the way. Like when we started this out, I was like, I'm going to do this thing, it's going to be on some planets, and that was basically the only idea I had. Planets. That's not really an idea, that's like a throwaway thought. And she sent me sort of a mood board of like, she's like, this is what I think space looks like, and it was just like this Mobius 70s European French kind of influence. And I was like, yes. I was like, that's it. And then I realized, like, sometimes you're with someone who can build worlds. Like Doc Shaner is brilliant at this. He can, the world of Rand, he built everything in it. All I did was write, like talks to alien. He's like, here's for the aliens. Bilquis can do. She builds worlds. She's a world builder.
Yeah.
And in each issue, you'll see her build a new world with her art, which is just astounding.
No, seriously, I really can't wait to read the story, but like I really can't wait to see what she also brings to the table, because when you have a writer like you, it seems like you trust them, and that's dope, to like trust an artist to bring something to the table to fill in the gaps for you. I love that. That's a perfect marriage for me. So I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome.
It's a thin line between trust and lazy, but so we'll call trust for now.
Let's go trust.
Let's go trust for now. Yeah.
When the cameras are off, we'll talk lazy.
Yeah, we'll talk lazy. Yeah.
But like now it's trust. Total trust.
Yeah. I'm sure when the artist gets to be like, what? This guy didn't build a world for me at all.
I had a lot of heavy lifting to do. Are there any cameos from any characters from the movie? Is Celine going to show up? Is Faye Dunaway going to be in this?
Faye Dunaway is the star of the whole thing.
Yes.
But it's the Joan Crawford Faye Dunaway, so it's all about wire hangers, and it's a whole, it's an odd stuff.
That was a haunting moment. It'll be a really, it'll be an Eisner Award winning sequence. Well, ladies and gentlemen, pick up Supergirl #1. It is on sale tomorrow at your local comic book store and online. Is there any variant cover game, or is it just the main?
There's a Gary Frank very famously drew a beautiful line of Supergirl in the 90s with Peter David. He drew the famous skateboard cover, which is probably the most famous Supergirl cover of all time. And so he did and as that is a #1, so he did the variant on this #1. And so there's a Gary Frank variant, which features a brand new character who debuts in this issue, Ruth I. And she'll be, we have big plans for this character, so it's really cool to see sort of Gary Frank drawing this sort of new iconic DC character. And then there's a sketch variant in case you want to come and get me to ruin your comics.
Yes, because if you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever bump into Tom King at a convention, he does sketch covers, and he does. You are in no way an artist. And
no, I'm the opposite of an artist.
I have a lot of sympathy for you because I feel the exact same way. Whenever anyone's like, "Draw something for me," I'm like, "Here is the worst stick figure you've ever seen."
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Yeah, no, I can't even draw stick figures. They're not sticks. They're Gerbil. They're noodle figures.
You're right, exactly.
A stick is too long. These are noodle figures.
But check that out, ladies and gentlemen. It comes out tomorrow digitally in comic book stores. Support your local comic book store and pick it up. Tom, thank you so much for popping in on the show.
You are so nice for letting me come and talk about this comic. I love.
You were. By the way, we set this up like an hour ago, so I appreciate you being available and being down to do this.
I just had to bring my kids to that doctor, but I'm sure whatever they've got, they'll do.
They'll be fine.
It'll sort itself out.
These things sort themselves out. Yeah.
They're like resilient. You drop them, they bounce right back up. But there's no big deal with kids. Yeah, it's amazing.
I have the vaccine, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. So whatever happens to this,
they're fine.
I'm covered.
Yeah. Have a tissue. You'll be good.
Yeah. But thank you for being here, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you another time. Thank you so much, man.
Take care. Nice
you too, man. All right, later. All right, well, that was fun. And that's just the way we roll here on Comic Pop and Off the Rack. Again, big thanks to Tom for being on the show.
Sure, yeah.
And thank you, Tiffany, for because I made no attempt to prepare you in any way for this.
No, like we were like, he's like hitting the live button. He's like,
by the way,
your headphones are there.
By the way, your headphones are there. Why?
Tom Kink's coming on.
Tom Kink's coming on, and you're gonna have to come up with something to say to him.
Click. Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. I'm like, what?
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But yeah, so
I'm legitimately looking forward to that.
Me
book.
too.
I think it's gonna be something special.
I think so too. And what's funny is, it's well, we'll talk about other books that are coming out this week. We think you should check out. But Supergirl obviously is one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited because, Batcat. If you didn't like the Batman run, you're probably not checking out Batcat. Mm-hmm. If you don't agree with the Watchmen whole situation, you're probably not checking out Rorschach. But Supergirl's one of those things where it's like, I don't even know what to expect.
But you're all probably reading Strange Adventures because this is the best
But
book.
You need to be reading Strange Adventures. And I need to be reading Rorschach because I said I would, and I still haven't. I think I'm trade waiting on Rorschach.
I think at this point you have to be.
I think I have to be. Anyway.
But I think Supergirl will be something
to talk about.
Yes.
It'll replace this book on the shelf whenever we randomly hype up a book.
I was gonna say, or go next to it.
Oh, that'd be a good compliment.
Yeah.
B Black says, "Whose ego do you think is bigger, Namor or Tony Stark's?" Namor.
100% Namor.
No question.
I think Tony has a little bit of self-deprecation.
Yeah, Tony's not a monster. He's never invaded anything except for he started a civil war, but he didn't invade the surface world. Grievous says, hey, Comic Pop folks, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to show some support. Loki is looking really interesting, and thank you, Tiffany, for putting Ten of Swords on my radar. It was a really fun read.
Yay!
That's
You're welcome.
Great. Yeah, and if you haven't already, check out Ten of Swords back issues. Tiffany hosted it, and it's a lot of fun. East says, hey guys, love the show. Happy to hear the Kevin Smith mention. I introduced some friends of mine to Clerks yesterday.
Nice.
That's great. Yeah, I remember being shown Clerks for the first time in my life. That was high school, and it changed my life forever.
Oh.
Dan V900, do you think Loki show will be referenced in any way in What If? I don't. I want to be wrong and see certain characters live action from What If. That'd be cool. I agree. I don't think so, but I would expect it. So we'll see. Car Eternal. I'm not normally a DC guy, but if you guys got me reading Nightwing, and it's just so good. By the way, F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife was Zelda. There you go. That's where it came from. Thank you. Nice.
I was like, no, it's a name.
It is a name. You're right.
My brain couldn't come up with any
real life equivalent for Zelda's.
Yeah, there's
besides I did say Zelda Williams, but she was named after the princess and not Fitzgerald's wife. So let's talk about some more books. We got plenty more.
We
but
do?
I'm actually gonna cut down a few of them. I am gonna talk about Spider's Shadow.
Oh, good, I read that one.
Yeah, I saw Spider-Man Spider's Shadow from Chip Zdarsky and Pascal, I believe his name is the third of I think 5 issues of this run. This 5-issue miniseries that was created to relaunch the What If brand.
Yeah,
just in time for
Pascal
Ferry. Thank you. this is going to relaunch the What If brand in time for a show called What If. It's a great idea. And of course, like more top creators will have an opportunity to have like a trade. This is all part of Chip Zdarsky's nefarious scheme, which I know for a fact is part of his plan. Because I remember he apparently at a summit meeting brought up in a big bad way what the hell Marvel's problem is with not having trade paperbacks or like collected volumes of people's runs, where he's like, how come there isn't like a definitive there are definitive Superman and Batman volumes for everything. Where's the definitive Spider-Man run? Where's the definitive like this, that, and the other thing for everybody? Well, how come they're not always available?
Right.
Life story engineered basically like that. This is another one where it's like, boom, there you go. And it's not going to be like a horrible What If, like that awful J.J. Abrams comic. But yeah. So Spider Shadow Part 3 of 5. What'd you think?
I like this issue a lot.
I hear what you're saying about those colors.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong. It's like they're doing it wrong. It's
and
like
I feel bad
yeah.
because I've seen this guy's colors before.
Yeah.
And I don't usually have an issue with it.
No.
For some reason, I have an issue with it here. And it's just...
Yeah, Matt Hollingsworth.
But the rest of the book's really good.
Yeah, and the colors are not like wrong. It's just that there's like a shading issue, like you said.
Yeah, there's just something, and I'm just not a fan.
I don't know.
I think it's a subjective thing.
It's not like there's something broken.
Thing. It's just not something that I personally like.
I hear what you're saying. But yeah, so Jonah assembles the Sinister Six. It is Rhino, Electro, Mysterio, Kraven the Hunter, and Doc Brock.
No, Brock Ock.
Brock Ock.
God.
Yeah, that's right. He's not a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, Eddie Brock takes the arms from the corpse of Dr. Octavius and becomes Brock Ock. I love that J. Jonah Jameson and Brock have like an interaction. Zdarsky does his homework. People remember that Eddie Brock worked for the Daily Bugle because they watched the 90s Spider-Man cartoon.
Yep.
No, he worked for the Globe. We see that, like, Brock wants revenge because Spider-Man ruined his life.
I love when they have that moment.
Jameson's like, sounds more like you ruined your life and you're a dick.
Yeah, you named the Sin Eater incorrectly.
Yeah, it sounds like you made a mistake.
Like, we're talking about the Sin Eater.
Yeah.
Again.
Right. Well, because Sin Eater is the reason why Eddie Brock became Venom.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, the current Spider-Man run had the Sin Eater return. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So basically, there's two stories here. There's the Sinister Six, led by J. Jonah Jameson, to catch Spider-Man because he's a murderer and a crazy person.
Killed like 13 people.
Yeah, because he killed 13 people. He's lost it. And the Fantastic Four, who are still working on that symbiote issue.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic's like Dr. Fantastic.
I thought you were going to say Dr. Fate. I'm like, Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Dr. Fate. Shouldn't he be a doctor?
Yeah. Mr. Fantastic?
Yeah.
He is a doctor. It's Dr. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic.
Why doesn't he want to be Dr. Fantastic?
Well, I knew people who were doctors who wanted to be called Mr. and Mrs.
That's true.
Because they didn't want to, they wanted to leave that life at the office.
Most doctors I've ever met who have a doctorate.
They want to be called doctor.
They want you to know.
I have a relative who's a doctor.
They're like, I'm
in
a doctor.
French.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's Doctor. Yeah. And I'm like, Dr. Uncle? No.
I love the fact that Reed's still working on this.
Yeah, he's like, we're still working on it. He even gets a call from Captain America. Cap's like, he's got to be stopped. He just wrecked the Beetle.
Yeah, Beetle's dead.
Yeah,
and being driven around.
Yep.
Beetle's dead, which means that the news must have been there while he was killing him.
Yes. Yeah, they were just like filming
because they've got the picture of the body, but the body's in the back of his car.
Yeah, and then he webs it up to show people like this is what's going to be you later.
Which is a horror show.
Yeah, it is. It's great. It's actually.
I love everything of it.
Yep.
About it. I even love that's what's so frustrating to me.
Yes, the art is incredible and fun, and it's like it's got the psychedelic look to it.
I love the moment of him being in the web. I love the moment of them entering this like crazy dimension.
Yes.
And we see the people in there. The coloring not so great.
No.
Again, I don't know. Anyway.
I know. So Spider-Man, who's been venomed out, he fights.
I love that he shows up. They're like, okay, everyone.
Oh god, stick to the plan, chums.
It's literally what they do.
Yeah,
They're
Rhino tries to Leroy Jenkins it up. He fails.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh god, he's in the ground.
Yeah. Oh no! I love when Brock Ock attacks him, and he's just, buddy, I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Buddy, you ruined my life. No. But Jameson busts out the Spider Slayer outfit and he attacks him. They are in a burning building. And I love it because once Jameson
Kraven notices because Kraven's apparently, and I really liked this moment.
Yeah.
Because this is for me, Zdarsky paying attention to tiny character moments that hold true to the character themselves. Because Kraven has been obviously in the fray, but he's also been studying him.
Yes.
And so when Peter gets too close to the burning barn, then the symbiote reacts and like his dialogue changes slightly.
Yeah.
Because he pauses as opposed to being like aggressive and confident.
That's it.
He's like, that's it.
That's what he's afraid of.
Yeah,
We're gonna get him in the barn.
That's dope.
Yep.
I also love panel, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, it's so great.
Nailed it.
As a fan, I'm like, I don't remember Kraven ever fighting Spider-Man in the symbiote costume. And first, I'm like, Kraven, God, everybody wants to use Kraven. He's dead. And I'm like, wait, no, he killed himself after Spider-Man lost the symbiote, but got the cloth version of the suit.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, but anyway, Jameson, he ends up fighting Spider-Man in the barn. When the flames get too much and the suit recedes off of him a little bit, he sees that it's Peter Parker, and he's just like, God damn it, Parker.
Yeah.
And so he rescues Peter. It expunges the suit.
Yeah, it kills it.
It kills it.
It kills it.
Yeah. Jameson clocks Kraven and then just drives him away. He's just like, they just run away.
He gives him his coat.
Yeah. He's like, damn it, Parker. Just like, Zdarsky's the guy who made Spider-Man tell Jameson who he was in his run.
Right.
Which is why the status quo right now is that Peter and Jameson are like kind of friends and they know each other.
And Peter has like a Tom King-esque beard.
He does, yeah. Yeah. Quite majestic, I might add, yeah. King's a little more youthful.
King should have said that this is only 24 hours of growth.
Yeah. What do you mean? I grew it immediately after we finished the last episode. Punk. But yeah, so they're gonna they're gonna get to the bottom of it. The suit, of course, is attached to the van that's following them. Mary Jane and Black Cat are working together. They team up with J. Jonah Jameson and Peter. So they're all together. It's this plucky team of like ex-girlfriends and his terrible boss.
Well, Mary Jane, Black Cat had gone to the underworld to see if they could find.
Yes.
And then like Black Cat proceeds to like give her a hard time.
Oh yeah, which is in canon.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the cops show up because like they outed. Like the Sinister Six outed Peter, or Kingpin did it.
Yeah.
In the event of his death, his identity would be revealed, which it was. So they were here to arrest Peter. So Peter's in trouble with the law. Meanwhile, the suit did not follow Peter. It went to the Fantastic Four and went on Mr. Fantastic. And it is, I guess the idea here is
like
that it is
like Riot and
it's making Riot and Phage and Lasher and everybody like it's extracting its own offspring. So we have like a Carnage. We have the 5 and Carnage. So we have the 6 babies that Venom can have. Oh my God, what?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I was reading this book. I'm like, I did not see that coming. But it's coming from a place of like, we can save everybody. Like, so who knows? But like now Mr. Fantastic is Venom.
Yeah.
What? I'm in. Sounds ridiculous.
It'll be interesting to see how like this turns out. If like Venom's like, no, we got to kill all the villains.
Yeah.
And Kraven and Brock got away.
Yes.
So there
is an opportunity for Brock
to go to the
become
hospital.
Venom. Yeah.
And Kraven is just Kraven.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how Carnage reacts to this.
Agreed. So that's fun.
Yes.
I love that.
It is fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I concur. Fun.
I should also mention Batman the Detective from Tom Taylor and Andy Kubert.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this issue. It's 3 of 6.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have not been as big a fan of this series as I have.
I stopped reading it. I kind of fell off. I was like,
that's fair. Yeah, out of 3.
I read 1.
You read 1.
I was like, I'm good.
I gotta tell you, like this issue was just a blast. I loved it. I've been enjoying the shit out of this series. I don't know why.
I'm glad.
It's Kubert drawing Batman. You got Henry Ducard in this a lot. It's just a very like cut and dry. Here's Batman when he was young. It's 10 years ago, so he's wearing his like Neil Adams outfit. Like, I don't know. I just loved it. I think it's a lot of it has to do with the Andy Kubert art, but Taylor like gets Bruce. I think that like when he's Bruce Wayne, he looks ridiculous. He looks like a prize fighter or something. He looks like Monstro or from Up in the Sky. But anyway,
my brain was like the
whale.
And the only reason is because
I can't remember his name.
No, you know that guy who got eaten or got
the man who got beaten by the whale.
By the whale, he did an AMA.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And Monstro came up.
Yeah, he didn't even see what's inside. I'm like, you don't have a flashlight or anything? It was only a few seconds.
He said it was 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's
way too long.
Yeah, that's too long to be eaten by a whale. Yeah, I agree.
That's not okay. That's all of my fears come to life.
Yeah. being eaten alive.
Being eaten by a whale.
That's a very specific fear. I gotta say. B Black dropped back in Loki. I loved the motion effects and references in the credits and all the semiotics in the logo. So much to chew on. Also, the look and the settings of the TVA remind me of the Time Cop org in Umbrella Academy.
I don't know why my brain made it into RoboCop.
I know, me too.
Wow, weird.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the look of that show as well.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more in a second.
We will.
Lake Lindler says, "Hey, True Believers, pitch a new revamped What If." I don't know. I mean, like, they're doing it, more, like there was going to be this Tom Taylor book about, like, it was basically like Dark Knight's Metal for the Marvel Universe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in for that. Like a kind of like He-Man kind of wasteland. I'll read that. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I saw art for it. But yeah, any what if is I'm up for. Go for it.
Well, he wants you to pitch one.
No, I don't have one.
Okay.
But Joe Zilla says, surprise guest like Tom King and your natural and fun conversation with him is why this is a special place on YouTube. You do great work. Thank you very much, Joe Zilla. I want to thank Tom for like being down for that.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah,
like he took time out of his day.
Yeah, he did.
Time out of the day.
Yeah.
Time is precious.
It's true.
It's more precious than you could ever imagine until you don't have enough of it.
That's right. Lewis Cox says, "Hey, ComicPop, the Loki show has a real good start. Also liking X-Men back issues you've been doing. Stay awesome." Same.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think we're caught up. So I guess we could talk about the shows. Let's talk about Sweet Tooth.
Yay.
Yay. Tiff and I finished this series yesterday.
Yeah.
It didn't take much to finish this series.
Think it was 8 episodes and we watched 4 of them yesterday.
Right.
So
yeah.
That happened. Like it was just
such an enchanting series, and
I've seen it described as an apocalyptic fairy tale.
Oh, I like that.
So let's talk about Sweet Tooth just in general. Sweet Tooth, obviously a comic written by Jeff Lemire, has many volumes. They did Sweet Tooth Returns or The Return or something like that. It was a comic I read 1 volume of, and it just wasn't for me.
Yep, I looked at a volume of it and was like, no.
Which is really strange for me because, like, I am the kind of person who likes a bleak, dismal world.
You do,
and I just
couldn't get into it. Just couldn't get into the character.
No. Like I said, like the bleaker and the more troubled or scary or dismal.
You enjoy.
I like Shinji Ikari.
Right.
Yeah.
The nice house on the lake.
I like he's this poor kid, right?
Oh, fuck
I just couldn't. Don't you start with me. I just couldn't get into Sweet Tooth, right? So come back around. I know a lot of folk love it, right? And so I get too that a lot of folk may not like this show because this show has a lot of the characters
yes,
by name. And a lot of the same things will happen, but in a very different way that's much less dark.
Right.
That said, I loved this show.
Yeah.
And it was everything I felt like I needed right now.
Right.
Like, I don't know if it just hit at the right time.
It's a great,
But like Netflix seemed to get it. Lemire seemed to get it as well. Because Lemire, I saw an interview with him about like why so much change. He's like, I wrote this a decade ago.
Right. The world's very different than it was 10 years ago.
Right.
Even 10 years ago.
And so like he was like, not only that, but he's like a lot of other apocalyptic things have come out since then. He kind of wanted to distinguish himself from that.
Yeah.
So I get it. Now, you've also heard me say I hate when like creators take something that they wrote and completely change it for another medium, which is very much what this is done.
Right.
It's changed it quite a bit.
Like Sandman.
Sandman
is demonstrably different looking than it was in the comics.
And so what I want to say is for those who have read Sweet Tooth and like saw this or maybe saw a little bit of it and it's not for you, I totally get it. And I'm not going to try to sell you on this because I get it because I've been on that side.
Yeah.
But those who maybe read it and maybe are still interested in this show, check it out. Those who don't know much about it, check out the show because honestly, like having come out of like being at this point of where we are in terms of pandemic, there's just something about this show that
touches upon these ideas and these themes without making it about that.
Yeah, like you'll see things that like have become part of our everyday lives. You'll see little hints here and there. Like there's at one point they're on a train and the train is like making a delivery and like of the things that are there, there's a lot of toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and it's a little nod.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
No.
They don't make a big deal about it. Nobody says anything about it. It's just there. And I'm like, that's funny.
Well, there's temperature checks.
But
like, again, they're not like overdoing it. It's one of those great, you know what it is? What this exactly is? It's a post-COVID show. It's one of those post-COVID apocalypse shows.
Yeah.
That like, the post-apocalypse, I think has changed dramatically in cinema and media from where we thought it was, because we've seen how shitty the world is when a little thing breaks. Like I remember when we got hit by a hurricane in our little area several years ago, maybe over a decade, and we couldn't get gasoline.
Yeah.
For like a week.
Yeah.
And like, everything was falling apart.
Yeah, no, it was,
but like in a very different, weird way.
Quick. Yeah,
and it was interesting how like what fell apart, like what elements did and what didn't, and how people reacted. And in a during COVID pandemic world, like we saw like, oh, like does the no, the apocalypse is, like actually there will be people who are like, there's no apocalypse going on at all. Like you're in a weird, like I didn't expect humanity to react like that.
Yeah,
and we're in this now, and this show is a really nice job of like giving you a story about characters, and also being a work of art that criticizes, or at the very least analyzes, the world we currently live in.
Yeah, and it does that certainly. So I know the book certainly was like Humanity of the Monsters.
Yeah.
Right. And we've seen that done before. Right. And like, and I have no problem with that type of story. I'm like, yeah, I'm down for that. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Look at how like horrible and like whatever. Right. There is something about the telling of this, which, while not being as dark, taking the character of Sweet Tooth, altering his like history a little bit, and essentially changing like his dad.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah.
Changing Jeopard.
Yep.
Creates a scenario in which humanity's awfulness has something comparable to. You know what I mean? Like there's something with Sweet Tooth, with Gus himself and his purity, which is in the book, but shines more here
easily, just with one quick creative decision.
Yeah.
And it's the age change.
Well, and like that's funny because like in the book he's supposed to be 9, but he doesn't look it.
He doesn't look. He looks like 14.
No, and in this he's 11. And what is his name? Christian Convery is the actor who plays,
Gus
Convery.
Okay,
plays Gus. The kid is
he's wonderful.
Incredible.
I hate child actors, and he is fantastic.
No, he is absolutely incredible.
You know, Feige's like, that one. Get him.
Take that.
You're Sam Alexander now. Congratulations.
No, he's delightful.
Or Franklin Richards. I think you pitched that one.
Yeah. No, he's utterly delightful and brings so much life to this character and so much heart to this character, and you're just rooting for him the entire time, even though like the world around him is a disaster. It's a complete disaster. You know, you meet these characters who like I'm interested to see, because again I only read the first volume, so I don't really, and I was like, I'm gonna hold off because I kind of want to see if they're gonna renew this for another season, because I really enjoyed the journey I went on, even though there was a point at the end of the season that I was like, when it happened I was like, okay, cool, they did that in a totally different way, but they still did it, so it wasn't like a huge surprise for me. I was just kind of like, neat. It's neat that they got there anyway. But you know, we meet the doctor,
right? And
in the show, he and his wife, do not come off to me
as sympathetic.
And I kind of love that.
Yes,
because they're the heroes of their own story, in their heads.
Yeah, in their heads.
I'm like, but when
you look at it objectively, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And you see it as like, what did you liken it to?
I likened it to like a lesser Macbeth. Like she's like a Lady Macbeth.
Yes,
that's what she's doing.
Yeah. You know, they don't think of it that way.
I don't think that they do, but that's how she comes off to me, and I kind of dig it.
Yeah.
So like the changes that they made along the way, I appreciate. But again, I completely understand those who have read this story and really fell in love with the story, not connecting to this world.
Totally.
I would say if you want to give it a shot and you are someone who read it, go into it imagining this is something different.
Yeah.
Because even if like things hit a certain way, you can't compare them necessarily, which is going to be hard for me when like Sandman comes out, because I'm going to want to do that. So that's why I'm saying I get it. Yeah. I totally get it.
Right. It's funny though. I wonder if people are as precious with Sweet Tooth as they are with Sandman. Because I can imagine like with Sandman, it's like, I always just wanted to see what I read come to life.
Yeah.
As opposed to Sweet Tooth, where it's like, I love this story. I think it's really awesome, but like, it's a show. What are you going to do?
Yeah. Yeah. And of course they certainly like this first season covers a bunch of the first volume, but also pulls in some stuff from later volumes, clearly, within it, because you're telling a story for Netflix versus a story in comics. Story pacing is different depending on the medium you're telling it within, and so like they do some different things here.
Yeah,
and some reveals come a little higher in episodes than they might have come in volumes. And like I said, characters are different, but you'll recognize some of them. There's a new character.
Yeah,
she's kind of a combo of some other characters with a
Makes
name
sense.
from a different character entirely.
Oh, just make up a new name. Don't do that.
No, I mean, like, I think they're just trying to keep it within the world in a way.
Sure.
I got to tell you, like, I know Lemire said that, like, when he created Jeopard, he was like, if this ever goes to be a movie, Liam Neeson would play Jeopard.
Oh.
But I got to tell you,
this dude is great.
I could not, like, no, Liam Neeson could not do a better job than Nonso Anozie. Nazi.
Yeah.
He's spectacular.
Yeah.
He's
great.
He's perfection. Like, I'm like,
yeah, I'm so on board for this
like,
dude.
One day when we can all go to like real cons, I hope he comes to one because I want a big bear hug.
Oh my god.
Like,
big man hug.
Big man hug for sure. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many points in this show that like got to me, and like I definitely shed a couple tears during this.
Totally.
A lot of it due to just like, you know, certainly sadness, but like there's beautiful moments in this show.
Easily.
And if you're looking for something maybe a little more hopeful, this might be something for you, because I got to tell you, like, it's kind of important right now.
Yeah,
I feel like.
I think so.
And there was such a nice moment that the narration nails.
Oh, really
punctuated. By the narration, fantastic.
Great.
So solid, so necessary.
Yep, it's got that great like Johnny Cash feel to it, but it's
I can't remember who the narrator is.
I think it's Brolin.
It
right?
is Brolin.
It's not John. It's not Thanos.
No,
it's like John Brolin or something like that.
It's a different Brolin.
Yeah.
James Brolin. It's
there
James Brolin, because he's got that older, like Sam Elliott-ness to his voice.
It
fits really well, and it kind of might be that nod to the, or like, so I think Sweet Tooth is supposed to be like Nebraska.
Okay,
so like you kind of get that
Midwest
like, Midwest feel with his narration.
Totally.
But there's a lot of like wisdom here as well. So I say check it out. It's great.
Yeah,
it's great. I'm sad that we binged it, but I'm not.
No. I'm sad
because,
I'm sad that they weren't already filming season 2.
That's my biggest concern, is because this kid's gonna get older.
Yeah, they got to do it
because he's at like that age. They're growing all the time. He's growing right now.
Yeah, they need to start filming like tomorrow.
He's at this very moment. That kid's growing.
Yeah,
if you're watching this, he's growing.
And the fact is, like, Netflix already knows if it's greenlit or not. Like they haven't said, but like we know, like they know what it is, because like they canceled Jupiter's Legacy like a week later.
Yeah,
like
no, I know.
So they know if Sweet Tooth was a success. And I think it is.
I hope so. I mean, like,
but I hope it is, but only if they can keep everything.
Yeah,
like you can't end that. You can't screw up this show.
Yeah,
like it can't be like one of the actors doesn't come back, or Gus is too old, or the bottom falls out of the story.
Everyone to come back. Everyone has to reprise.
Same directors, everything.
Yeah. I mean,
it's one of those things where I think that I've complained, and I think a lot of people do, about like effects in movies and shows, and especially superhero or comic book properties, where it's like, the effects weren't great and blah blah blah. And I've always maintained this, and you don't notice or you don't care when the story's compelling and excellent. If the story's good, you don't care, and the effects aren't the best. Sometimes they're great, and other times they're not the best, but you don't care. There's a moment where Gus runs and there's some deer. Yeah. It's so fake.
They're so fake.
But
I know they are.
But I don't care, because I'm in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's what matters. Like, and that's the mark of a good show.
Yep.
Where it's like, who cares if the effects aren't the best? Like there's a moment where they're running through the train, and I'm like, they are running on a track, and you are just overlaying a CG train over them.
I know.
Whatever, I'm in the moment of them running through the train.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, it's just... And that's the mark of a great show. Is like, I don't care about the effects. It's but like Gus's are great. Like when it matters, when it really matters, they are great.
Yeah, and they do try to use some practical effects as well, as often as they can, especially on the other kids.
Yep.
That we see. Gus's ears, are they practical?
I don't know. I don't know. And that's one of those things where they probably are not. Because he's so natural with them, because the kid isn't reacting to them like he would if they were practical. I think they're not. I think that's like one of those trickery where it's like, oh my god, they nailed that.
Right.
I think the whole thing is CG.
I think the antlers might be.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's one of those things. But yeah, so hard recommend. Sweet Tooth, check it out.
Definitely, for sure. Like I feel like I might go back and rewatch it, because I'm just so in love with that kid. And Jeopard and the relationship there.
Definitely.
Just such a lovely journey.
Agreed. Sam S says, hi, I love the shows. I am a noob. I tried getting into it digitally, but I didn't like it, considering doing physical copies. I believe he means comics in general. What's a trade? Back issues. So welcome to the show. Welcome to the fandom. Let me tell you something.
We're talking X-Men.
So I think he's talking about reading comic books.
I was trying to get into the recent X-Men run from Hickman.
But I think he's just talking about reading comic books in general. So it's like, what's a trade? A trade is basically just a graphic novel.
Okay.
They call them trade paperbacks. They call them hardcovers. They call them graphic novels. Trade paperbacks are a floppier version of a hardcover. There's a hardcover. It's got a hardcover. It's the only difference.
But a trade paperback specifically collects issues that already came out in a other format.
Yes, they usually call them, if it's a Western comic book and it comes out in a monthly format, they'll call them monthlies or floppies. They'll also just call them comic books. But when they're collected in one floppy comic book collection, they're called trades or trade paperbacks or graphic novels. Hardcovers are just the same thing, but with a hardcover. And I like physical as well. I read digitally. But there are some books that I need to read physically, and I just prefer it. So it's all in the eye of the beholder.
Yes. So. There's also one other thing. There's an OGN, which is an original graphic novel, which is similar looking to the trades and graphic novels.
Here, grab that Batman book.
Oh. However, the contents within it are only in here.
Right. Like this Batman Earth 1, it's longer than your standard monthly comic, but it all came out at once and it was written and drawn to be this one collection. I'm sure because they're kind of short, like they'll actually collect these again one day in like an omnibus, which is a oversized a hardcover that collects like hundreds of pages of comic. They are usually ridiculously big looking, and you'll know them when you see them. Like if you see a thick trade, you'll know it is not an omnibus. They also usually say omnibus on them. Lewis Cox says, Comic Pop, will you do a back issues on the Power Rangers comics? It would be interesting. We may one day. We may.
I thought that was
someone. Oh, that's Thunder.
That's Thunder.
Yeah.
We're bringing the thunder.
Yeah, if we do, it'll be Shattered Grid. Dan V900, I love Sweet Tooth comic. I also love the show. The show is more hopeful and the dark moments aren't as graphic. No spoilers, but I'm surprised our reveal happened so early.
I'm not, because they want, remember, they're not selling to a comic book audience who's used to reading for the long haul. They're selling to a consumer market of people who are bombarded with media from every side.
And you're competing with everybody.
So you need to tell something compelling. So I'm not surprised by that, but I get it. I totally get it.
J. Joseph Frazier, happy Monday. How's life treating you? I'm in a post-Invincible and Love, Death, and Robots world. Do you think people are ready for Saga? Life's good. Thank you for asking.
Well, thank you. Also, it's not that people are ready for Saga. It's Brian K. Vaughan said he didn't want to do Saga in another medium because he felt like he wrote it for comics alone.
Yes. But he's also, happy to get paid, so I'm sure it will be.
They're doing Why the Last Man.
Yeah. That's shot. I can't believe that.
But I'm just saying,
he's getting enough. He doesn't need to do Saga.
I would rather
Saga sales compared to Why the Last Man, I'm sure.
I would rather they didn't, only because, and again, I just got done telling you why I really like Sweet Tooth but didn't enjoy the book.
Yeah.
But I feel like for Lemire, the story, the meaning behind the story remains the same regardless of the darkness of the tale necessarily. Right. I think he might say that. Jeff, let me know. Oh. But I feel like with Vaughn, the graphicness of that universe needs to be there. Yeah, it needs to be it needs to be literal. Dan V back to say the beers are practical and remote controls. I thought so. There was a video with everything put on top of his head. There's a real deer. They distracted with potato chips. I saw the real deer. No, there is a real one. No. There's definitely there's a real deer in the lodge. There's not real deer when he's running. Yeah. There's a couple of instances where deer are. Yes. But there's definitely a real deer, and we could pinpoint that because we'd recently had a deer in our backyard, a fawn. Yeah. And so we were like, oh, it looks just like it. Yeah. Exactly. But then it runs away, and then it's fake. I love the fact that they're real. I know, me too. That's great. Off the screen. Yeah. Whatever. Anyway. Let's talk about Loki. Let's do it. Loki is great. The first episode came out. Yeah. First episode. Love it. Yeah. It takes, a lot of people are talking about the look of the show. Yep. It's like the 70s. Yeah, the 70s aesthetic. Everybody loves the 70s aesthetic. Everybody loves the 70s aesthetic when a set dresser and costume designer pull all the best things from the 70s and put it in a place and make it look fantastic. And put it into an anachronistic setting. Yeah. Because I remember my grandma's house.
And it was full hardcore 70s. Yeah, I remember.
It does not know.
Yeah, my living room for a while had red shag carpet and fake foam wood beams in it with wood paneling. I remember 70s aesthetic as well.
Yeah, my grandma had some stuff that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
But like my grandma,
yeah.
Let's not even get to that. But like I love the 70s aesthetic when someone cultivates it and takes it and makes it modern enough.
Yeah, or science fictionizes it.
Yeah, it's dope.
But
it's great. It looks awesome.
Yeah, but no. The 70s was not like if you got a time machine and was like, I just want to live in the 70s.
Some of it would be
first of all, it would reek.
It would probably reek.
Because everyone smoked.
Everyone was
either
smoking.
Grass or nicotine, but like it would reek. Secondly, it would be ugly as fuck. It would be brown, gray, white, cream, orange.
Yeah.
A lot of earth tones.
Yeah.
Anyway, Loki's a great show.
It is a great
Tom
show.
Hiddleston. We talked about it in the first episode of our episode of Back Issues where we talked about Loki, where I'm like, when they cast him and they had him, they were like, oh my God, can we just do a Loki movie? Is that possible? And it's like, well, we'll do a show. How about that? Like,
that's why I made Disney
they're
Plus.
so
That's what
lucky.
we said.
Yeah, they're so lucky they got it because he's so great.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, like, Owen Wilson,
He's great.
better than I was expecting.
Every scene he's not in, I'm like, where is he?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, I'm not like complaining. I think the show is great. Everybody's engaging. All the supporting cast is great.
Yep.
But they have a chemistry that's really like unmistakable.
Mhm.
And Owen Wilson himself, like I hopefully he's given material that he is excellent at.
Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's great.
No, it is, and they do a great job of tying footage they have from movies already into this.
Yes.
Really well.
It's like Feige resents how much people don't like Thor: The Dark World because every time he gets an opportunity, he's like, "How about we talk about how important Thor: The freaking Dark World is?"
I feel like though this one's fair because there are some big character moments for him in that and in Endgame. So I think that the things that they show worked perfectly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm totally glad we covered the book that we did because it weirdly felt like that.
Yeah.
But just different. Like with a different lens on it.
Yeah.
So
right.
I'm looking forward to more, honestly. Just
totally
want to see where this is going. More wow.
More wow. He doesn't say wow.
I know. He's never
good.
Say
I
wow.
feel bad. Like I feel like there's no way he's ever gonna say wow again.
Never. He can't buy a sham wow. He can't.
No.
He can't get a subscription to WoW.
No.
He just calls it World of Warcraft all the time.
Yeah.
It takes forever to say it.
I love World of Warcraft.
You mean WoW?
No, I don't.
Damn it.
When do you want to play it? Now. What does the cat say? Meow.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's a solid entry into the Disney Plus suite of shows.
Oh yeah.
Again, another instances where it's like this completely fits within the MCU and yet has a completely different feel from the other two shows that came before.
Oh
it.
yeah. Yeah.
So if you weren't sold on WandaVision, but you liked what Falcon Winter Soldier, give this a try. Same thing the other way around. If you didn't like either of them, give this a try because this is totally different feeling from them as well. So
yeah, and it gave them another crack at the whole time travel thing.
Yeah,
they're like, because the Endgame time travel is like all over the place, it doesn't make any sense. But like this is they're like, no, here's how it makes sense.
Yeah,
and
time travel
for me, it still doesn't make sense. But like, who knows? I don't care.
Anytime you bring time travel into it, everything becomes convoluted and ridiculous, and like it's just too much to have to kind of unravel. By the way, we never actually gave Sam any recommendations for like how to find a book.
Did we not?
Well, I mean, like we told him about like what trades were,
right? But where to get them,
or like what to look for, because it always comes down to what your interests are. Like if you gravitated towards wanting to read comics because of a character, I would go and look up some trades specifically for that character.
Yeah,
a lot of characters out there, especially some of the bigger ones, have books that are like seminal works that you're gonna have to pick up and you should probably read if it's more the genre you're looking for. And it's not necessarily just the superhero one. There's probably something out there for you. There are crime books, there are fantasy books, there are horror books, there are thrillers, there are slice of lifestyle comics as well. Hone in on what it is you think you might want to get from comics,
exactly,
but be open.
Yeah, like what's your favorite movie genre? You'll probably be able to find something within that. If you like superheroes and you enjoy the Marvel or DC universes, you can check those out.
Yeah,
if you want to be like a hipster and you're like, no, I want to read about superheroes and interconnected universe, but I don't want to read about Marvel or DC. There are other ones like that. You can read Early Image, where they're all connected. You can read Valiant, they're all connected too. Right. There's a lot of different universes you can jump into. But I would pick a favorite character or a character you're most interested in, and grab some seminal works that like cover that character. There's a gazillion lists, and try those out.
Yeah, and if it's like, if you're like worried about trades can be expensive sometimes, right? Look for sales, especially if you don't mind reading digitally at first as you're just getting into them, because you could always go back later on and like, drop a couple bucks on like an actual physical copy of it. But you can get some really good prices on trades. Keep an eye out on Comixology for sales. If you're interested in image stuff, a lot of the image trades tend to hover. The first ones hover around $10 to $15 for the first trade, which are fairly large. And they do a lot of their individual issues, like as like time goes by, they reduce the cost of them.
That's true.
So digital is a great place, in my opinion, to start sometimes if you're not sure what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You can also try some dollar bins if you have a local comic book store.
Oh, yeah. Go to your local comic book store. Go to local comic book cons. There are always deals. Don't ever pay for more than 3 trades for cover price. Just negotiate with them. Not your comic book store, but your Comic Cons, merchants like that.
Yeah.
You can go to instocktrades.com or the discountcomicbooks.com. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember, but like you just Google it. Amazon has trades for sale. Never pay full price for a comic book trade. You can always get one either used at like Amazon or discount comic book trades or in stock trades.
Yeah.
Or at a Comic Con.
Especially if you're just trying to get into it.
Yeah. Especially if it's like Birthright Superman or, Killing Joke. You can find those anywhere.
And especially if you do get something discounted and it's something you end up not digging, you don't feel so bad about it. Don't be afraid to like pick something up and realize this is the one I'm looking for.
Yeah. Just drop it.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like give it a shot though. Give it a good try first.
Right.
Though.
Yeah.
But if it's like, this isn't really what I was looking for, don't feel bad about it.
Yeah. Dan V900 back to say it will probably be a future back issue since you have the graphic novel, but I found Batman Earth 1 very disappointing. Loki was great. Also, B Black says, what was your favorite scene in Loki? And thanks for making me laugh out loud with the now. Okay. Where does milk come a cow? I liked how smart they were about like getting all of Loki's character development done. Like they're like, we have to go back and have a character who hasn't developed over 5 years worth of movies or whatever. And then we'll do it by having him watch a montage. And now he's back to where we were when we wanted him. That was really smart. As far as character or sequences, I still laughed a lot, like just when he's going through the TVA and he's being like kind of processed. But
I know what my favorite scene was. When he escapes and he finds the stones.
Yes. Yeah. When he's like, oh my God. And it's a really smart moment.
I was like, that was such a great like turn for him.
Yes. Like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
And it's so smart because like the whole damn saga was all about these rocks. And now it's like, there's a drawer full of them. Like that's not the biggest, most important or powerful thing in the world anymore or in the universe anymore. It's something else now. And like, that's kind of cool. It's way to raise the stakes.
Yeah. And like put things into perspective for him.
Yes.
And also possibly give him a new goal.
Right. Which is
Time Lord.
I've no doubt he's probably thinking that. Just for comments, just for commentable, says happy Monday. You too, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So let's get into some recommendations for comics we think you should check out.
We should definitely do that and pretend like we went ahead and had those prepped.
Yeah.
I'm going to recommend Demon Days Mariko #1 by Peach Momoko. Oh, well, you had that one ready. You knew I was recommending that one. Yeah, that I read the preview for this.
Yes.
I am so all about what Peach Momoko is doing.
Yeah.
I love these little stories, these little journeys into like an Elseworlds what if style story. I'm all about it.
That's fair.
All about it right now. I'm also going to give a shout out to Planet Size X-Men #1, which is the next
big expensive one shot from the Dawn of X era.
Yeah, it's written by Duggan with art by Pepe Larraz. So like as soon as they put Larraz on it, it feels important.
Yeah, it does. It's funny. It's funny.
But also it's Duggan, so I'm like, let's check it out. Let's see what we got.
That's fair. I gotta recommend obviously Nightwing #81. It's a great series. This issue will be, I'm sure, no doubt, equally great. Definitely check that out. I read Heroes Reborn #6, I think, and that was like, it was a Wonder Woman book, and it was like funny and weird. I don't know, but it comes out another one. This is another one. Cool.
Yeah, it's another one. New Mutants #19 is coming out. That's part of the Hellfire Gala, as well as Planet Size X-Men. Also, it's all Hellfire stuff. So
awesome.
Check this out for sure.
Totally.
Shadow Man has been involved recently.
the Shadow King.
Shadow
Man is a Valiant comic you can check out. Which is a really good series.
You can do that too. I just accepted him right on there. He's part of Krakoa now. It's
yeah,
cool.
Shadow Man's a mutant.
It's fine.
Canon.
He was on Araco, because he came through the dead side. Into Amenth.
Right.
It's cool. Don't worry about it. I figured it out. Shadow King has been involved and recently had a conversation with Gabby. So we'll see. I want to see if that turns into anything here. Does Shadow King even go to the gala? Was he invited?
Probably not.
Probably not. Also, X-Corp #2, the most questionable book. Even though I just said Children of the Atom has been like such a disjointed mess for me.
Yeah.
X-Corp was that book that I was like, am I enjoying this?
Right.
I can't tell.
It is Teenie Howard. You do love Teenie Howard's work.
I do love Teenie Howard's work.
And this cover's crazy. The X-Corp covers have been fantastic.
We should have Teenie Howard on, and if Teenie Howard does tarot readings, she could read my cards online, and we'll chat about comics.
That'd be amazing. Supergirl #1 comes out.
Oh, yay! Look at that cover.
Yeah. It's Supergirl. Also, Crypto is going with her.
Of course. Oh, wait, no.
I know.
I'm gonna need a "Does the dog die?" check on this one.
I know.
That's what I should.
We did not ask him. We should have.
No, come back, Tom. Tell me privately.
Yeah. Venom 200. The end of Donny Cates' run on Venom, and the
end of an era.
The end of an era. The end of the coolest era Venom has ever been in since his inception. Venom. Static is you can get this on digital, but it's physically coming out, so you can check out the new run of Static from the new Returns milestone era. I've read it and I like it just as I love the original one more.
Okay.
But I still appreciate and like this.
Okay, cool. I like the fact that they put the milestone logo at the top.
Me too.
I really like that.
It's very important to do that. That Alien book is also coming out. Pass. Just mentioning it because I like to do that sometimes. So people were like, "Why mention a book when you're not going to recommend it? It's pretty childish." I'm like, it's childish. Get fucked. How about that?
I'm going to throw it out there too. Berserker #3 is coming out.
Yeah.
If you've
I did not
Berserker, not the Berserker manga.
No,
whose creator just passed.
That's Berserk.
Berserk, right? This is
Berserker.
Well, because what they did was obviously Berserk put the E's in there.
Yeah.
You take the E's out, you got a little more room.
That's right.
You put the R on the end.
I bet that they were like, we can't call it Berserker.
That's
because people confuse.
No, they couldn't call it Berserk.
Right.
So they had to call it Berserker because they're like, they're going to think of that.
Well, no, I'm thinking if they were calling it Berserker, they were like, let's take out the vowels so it'll be like visually distinct from that book.
Berserk.
From Berserk.
Which is like, well, but why would they want to do that? Because they clearly want you to think about that. Because
I don't know.
Can't help but think about
right,
that.
Exactly. I don't know.
Hyperviolence, I don't know. Anyway.
Ron Garney, I think, is still drawing. It's fun. Grievous just says, I don't know. I know Sal isn't really into gaming, but what do you guys think of Guardians of the Galaxy game reveal? Any chance of seeing it on the Twitch channel? Tiffany?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely play it, and I'm going to hold judgment until I play it. I know a lot of folk are saying like, yay, this is what we wanted from Avengers.
Yeah.
I won't lie. When I first, nothing against Square. I love Square. I love Square so much. I had a lot of great times playing Square games with my best friend growing up there. But when I saw it attached to this, it immediately gave me pause because of what happened with Avengers. And of course, Idios is attached to it. And obviously they do God of War, but it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's totally different gameplay style. And I think we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But I'm going to play it and I'm going to go into it with an open mind and an open heart.
Yeah. I thought it was weird that there were 2 friggin' trailers in like a week's time that used I Need a Hero.
I know.
I saw like a meme where they were just like, if I had a nickel for every time that like they released a pop culture trailer with I Need a Hero, I'd have 2 nickels, but it's still weird they did it twice.
It is so weird.
And I'm like, yeah, it is weird.
Yeah.
I'm sure Kevin was like, yes, I was first.
Nobody knows that.
No one knows that because nobody saw your trailer for fucking.
Because everybody watched E3.
Nobody watched that trailer for Master of the Universe.
I'm sure people did. Coming out, but you closed the window, so it's fine.
Yeah, I did. I did watch that trailer, by the way, for Master of the Universe. So did you, and it's fun. It looks ridiculous. Oh, and a really quick review. I read Detective 1037. It's great.
Nice.
It's a good series. That's all.
That's Tamaki.
Yeah. Young Bruce Wayne. It's weird. But anyway, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you so much to our super chatters for sponsoring today's episode. Thank you to Tom King for popping in and supporting us. And
Tom Taylor?
No.
I'm kidding.
They do that joke every once in a while.
I know.
Yeah, we will never have that. Tom on this show.
I did not have the balls to say that.
Nor did I have my joke ready to go.
No, you didn't. That's okay.
But I'm saving it.
Okay.
I didn't. Yeah.
That's
Anyway. But thank you all so much for hanging out with us, and thank you especially to all of you who keep this channel alive and keep us gainfully employed as a result. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe here to ComicPop Returns, and of course, make sure to remain subscribed to ComicPop Prime, where everything happens from this channel. Back issues, community posts, shorts are getting a big revival on Prime as a result of as a result of having one show on that channel.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain was like pants?
Shorts? We're going to wear them because it's warm? No.
You won't be able to see because most of these shows are shot from here up on this channel.
That's true. You never know. B-Black mentions, referring to the gala, I felt for Kid. As a former bouncer, there's always one who doesn't want to wear the wristband and still be let in. Yeah, do not miss those days.
That is so Iron Man.
Yeah.
That is 100%. Like, man, I'm just doing my job.
Yeah, dude, just let me.
Just put the flower on.
Nah, I'm not going to do it.
But.
Yep.
I'm going to get in trouble.
I know, but I'm already in. Yeah. But so make sure to follow on twitch.tv/comicpop to watch Tiffany play streams, and
I will play streams.
You will stream plays.
I'll play the streams.
And more from here.
We're gonna play Control tomorrow. Some more.
Ooh, cool.
I love this game.
Cool.
I can't wait. It is very David Lynchian.
Oh, that's great. I know you love that.
Loving it.
That's terrific.
It's pouring outside.
Yes. I'm also having a special guest on Elseworlds this week.
You are?
Yes.
That's dope.
Yeah. Return guest. It's a guest I'd never thought we'd have again. So I'm excited to see them join us.
I know who it is. I remembered who it is.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yep. So anyway, thanks a lot for hanging out. We'll see you guys next time with another episode of Off the Rack. Maybe, because we're going on vacation.
We are.
So who the hell knows if we're going to be able to do another one this week.
What if we did it on a different day?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'll talk to the folks at the Secret Stash and see if they might be interested in letting us broadcast from there or something.
What?
That'd be kind of cool. I don't know.
Bring my laptop. It'll just set on fire.
So long, everybody.
Bye.